Yeah, all right, so we're live with ADLR Podcast. Hopefully that worked. It
It's pretty
definitely
hot
had.
though.
The video was there. I just don't know if the audio was playing or not. So I'll find out after the recording, I guess, or if anybody
Yeah,
was
it
actually
worked.
watching. You heard it?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Oh, and then your stream's buffering, so that's good.
Oh, that's fucking perfect. I'm watching me be down. That's what I need right now. It's just for it was fine live for the last 30 minutes, and then let's go down.
I'm not having a problem.
Okay, so it's Brian then. I'm okay with that. If you want to help Brian out with the better internet, you can go to patreon.com/ADLRplays and support the channel, and maybe one day I'll have enough excess cash coming out of my eyeballs that I'll give him better internet. If not, you can go to
Hit
Extra
the
Life,
lottery.
right? You go to extralife.adlrplays.com and donate to a charity. The proceeds go to Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. I'm gonna take off his mic real quick because he's not here, so fuck him. What was I gonna say? The topics thing. I don't know. Should I keep doing it? It's always empty every week.
What, having him?
Huh? No, I'm talking about the topics at ADLRplays.com. Should we even continue doing that?
I mean, I would, just because it's
An option.
there's always that one person that usually does it. Usually it's Zordon asking about weird shit, but
Yeah, and he's usually here to watch, and he'd ask this in person anyway. So, well, either way. If you want to request a topic, you can go to topics@adlrplays.com, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want to talk or donated. Or wow, what's the word? Submitted. That's the word. On a future episode.
man, it's February.
No, it's not yet. We're way past it. We're 5 months past it, dude. And it still has the trailing effects. I don't know why I made that face. Sorry. So yeah, okay. We have a lot to talk about this week. We did a lot of consuming. We had, well, most of the people in the world had 4-day weekends. I had to go to work on Friday because I'm saving PTO.
Yeah.
So yeah, July 4th came and went. Fireworks were in the air. Drunk people were on the road, even though you shouldn't be. Stranger Things released. Spider-Man: Far From Home released. Finally caught up on what is Black Mirror, which is quite the season. And finished One Punch Man this week. So how do we want to tackle this? I guess we can stall for as much as we can, and start with One Punch Man and Alita because you watched Alita this week.
Yeah, so I got to watch Alita yesterday.
Okay, so let's go with that. Let's stall for Randall again.
Is Randall part of the One Punch Man crew?
He's part of the Stranger Things, Black Mirror, and Spider-Man. The three
so
things that were on here, he's like,
Yeah.
I'll make sure to arrive an hour late.
So we're gonna try and do the whole. We're just gonna burn through Alita and One Punch Man and hope that he's here by then.
Yeah. If
All
not,
right.
then fuck him. You know.
Let's see. So Alita Battle Angel was really cool. I really loved a lot about it. I was really hoping for a little bit more action from her,
Okay.
but it was only a 2-hour movie, but there was a lot actually packed into a 2-hour movie.
There's a lot of There's a lot of character development, a lot of world building was in it.
And it was really awesome to see like how she progressed and how certain things were coming to light as she was starting to remember stuff. I really want to know what happened to the dude's wife.
Oh,
after she was just in the box. So it just shows her in the box and then she kills the dudes and goes, okay, and then it's like 6 months later or something.
She's Dracula's wife. Oh, hold on, I forgot to turn off the AC. I think it can reach, right? Oh shit, here we go.
This is gonna be funny. Use your feet.
I got it.
His roof collapses.
Oh, I just stepped on it. Oh well.
I was waiting for his whole PC setup. Like the desk just collapses.
And I was like, I'm good.
So
Alita's good. You enjoyed it. That's great.
I liked the little love thing that they had going on because it wasn't like you know,
Shoehorned in.
it wasn't the whole story. It was just kind of a, oh, hey, by the way, this is here,
Yeah.
you know. But it was really intense when she's like, I'd give you my heart.
You're
That's
like,
one of
whoa,
those,
whoa, back it up.
one of those, what, OAG, the overly attached girlfriend thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, take
They
it,
play
or I'll
it.
kill you.
Yeah,
Myself, too.
Because I love you. Only I can kill you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what do you think of the eyes? Because there was controversy about how would she look like, because she was weird, because she had like the weird anime eyes. I thought it
Yeah.
was fine. I didn't really care. I thought it added to the aesthetic.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care for it. Like, it wasn't one of those things that I was like, oh my god, I'm really glad that they did this. But it wasn't one of those things that I'm like, I really wish they hadn't done this.
Oh,
It was,
okay.
I was kind of, because I mean, most of the characters that were cyborgs had normal eyes. They were just, you know, humans implanted into a cybernetic body, and that's that, you know. And hers, I don't really understand the point of having, you know, these massive eyes, but it kind of does add to the character.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I also thought it was fine.
Her commander looked really familiar. She looks like
Her commander?
yeah, so every time she had the flashback and
Uh-huh.
the woman that was like with her all the time and told her to like finish the mission, she looks like was it Michelle Rodriguez?
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't remember. Okay, let me look it up real quick. Alita Commander. Let's see if that comes up with anything. Nope. Why would it?
Yeah, now I have to look it up because I want to know. I don't remember her. I don't remember the name.
Yeah. Maybe Alita flashback. We'll come up with something.
That's what I typed and I don't see it.
Oh, okay.
It was Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Or no, I'm. Apparently Michelle played. Is that her? Played the chick with the blades that was like a spider.
Oh, okay. So not okay. That's weird.
I don't know who the commander lady was.
I'll have to watch the anime for this. See what the difference is.
Yeah, there's like a 2-part series or whatever.
Yeah, it's like an anime. I don't know if it was multiple episodes. I thought it was just a movie.
Maybe it is just a movie.
Battle Angel Alita. It's an OVA. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to watch that next. I'll probably watch that this week. But yeah, all in all, I thought Alita Battle Angel was really cool. I really loved the scenery. I loved the backstory. I loved her character progression.
The world was great.
You know, the fact that she literally was, you know, the most badass. She's like one of the most badass cybernetic people, but still had weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know, and it was really nice to see her have a weakness. It wasn't like One Punch Man.
We'll get to it. I was gonna say, yeah. I also enjoyed it when we watched it. The world building was great. The fighting choreography of the animation was fantastic. Everybody's weapons were really cool and unique. It was dope. I mean, not unique like you've never seen it before, but like one guy had a sword, the father had like that huge fucking hammer, which was pretty cool. I think it was like that had a thruster on it too.
That Ed Skrein, I was like, that dude looks so. The guy who plays Zapan looks so familiar. I was like, I know him from somewhere. He's the bad dude in Deadpool.
Yeah, he's gotten around. He's an actor that gets around. He's a really good actor. All right, there's no more holding back here. One Punch Man, season 2.
So should we talk about what we liked about it first?
Yeah, I want to start with what I liked. And again, it's just like last season, the introduction of characters. There's the world building, they tease you with it, and then let's stay with the positives. The world buildings as little as they show you, as little as they show you, you're like, "Oh, shit, I want to learn more of these heroes and their backstories." What's the villain's name in this? Gara?
Uh,
No,
Garo.
Garo. I actually turned out I liked him a lot because he comes off as, oh, I'm a monster. I'm here to do villain things, but he starts showing more and more hero-like symptom like emotions in his own way, like Vegeta style, where it's like, I care about you, but I'm gonna be rough, like with the
Yeah.
little kid when he was protecting him in the fight with the barn. But he makes it seem like, oh, you survived or whatever. But then he sees like what he gets a reaction from the kid, like, oh shit, this is what I wanted, I guess, to be a monster. And he
Yeah.
had a pretty cool, not an arc because it's not over yet. We'll see what the fuck happens in season 8 of I punch once and it's over.
Uh,
The kicking dude, what's his name? Suryu?
Sirio, yeah.
Also great. Like having One Punch Man be this like godlike person is great because you get to see people. The one good thing about it is you see other people get inspired to be
To be better.
an actual hero. Yeah, to
Yeah.
challenge what a hero is supposed to be in that world where everyone's just doing it for fame, or etc. etc. And then the action sequences that wasn't involving Saitama were really cool to watch, especially with Siryu, and then the fight with Garo and like how many, like 7 different heroes want to take him out in
I
the
think it
barn.
was like 5 or 7, yeah.
And
something
that
in
fight
there.
was really cool.
Yeah, Garo just seems like he's really overpowered too. Like even though he's human and he's not on the god tier like Saitama is, he
Yeah.
still seems like he. I mean, look at how much he was poisoned with arrows. He had like his leg cut. He was still recovering from the beating he got from
Saitama when he punched him through the wall. He forgot he woke up not knowing what the fuck happened.
yeah, and then also right before that he fought
Yeah, he did fight
the
somebody
dog
else before
guy.
that. Yeah, the dog. He said that he got his ass beat from him. He lost so much blood, I think he could fill up another human being with it.
But and then he starts taking on
7 other fucking heroes, one of them being an ST. No, it was all A's and
no,
B's,
they were
right?
all A class, A and B.
Okay.
But then like Genos comes in, and Genos, like, he wasn't struggling, but he wasn't exactly on top either.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a one-sided fight. And then Bang and his brother comes in, and it really was a one-sided fight. But even
Oh
then,
my God, I
Garo's
forgot.
like, I could take these geezers if I wasn't so injured, and he still held his own. Like,
Exactly.
what the fuck is this?
And every time I see like him getting closer to Saitama, I'm like, oh, they're gonna cross paths. Maybe it'll, because the one thing Saitama wants is not to be bored, and I'm like, it has to be this guy. There has to be this guy that won't bore him, or he'll learn something. And every time, it's twice now in the same fucking season, he just one slaps him away from him for a mile. I'm like, then who is it? What's Saitama doing, dude? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know where the bang and boom fight with against Garo, that was badass too.
It was badass, especially when the giant Centro,
Yeah, the dragon
whatever, the
level
giant
monster
beetle thing.
Yeah,
When that thing came out and they had that ultimate power attack, duo power attack, that
Yeah.
was pretty sweet.
those guys are really awesome.
So I think the biggest disappointment this season is Genos, though.
For me, Genos, I'm okay with because he does learn and improve. It's just he only learns a little bit,
But he
and then he gets
doesn't.
he does, because remember when he gets decapitated this time with Garo, he uses it's modular, so he trapped him with it. Before, if he would have gotten decapitated, he could not use that leg anymore.
Yeah, but then like he gets into the fight with the giant beetle or the giant centipede thing,
And then gets bodied.
and just like throws all logic out the window. He gets his leg ripped off, and then he flies inside of him and does his last resort attack. Like every time he fights, he just uses a last resort.
So
It's
did-
never.
Thank you.
Oh, did he finally decide to join?
Yeah, he's here, so we bought enough time for him.
But it seems like it. I feel like he's a lot like Naruto, where he could do a lot more, a lot faster if he actually slowed down and thought about what it is that he was trying to accomplish.
Instead of just using Anthony's school of thought and hitting square over and over again until he dies.
Yeah, like when he was fighting Garo, he was on point. He used the surroundings to his advantage. He used his opponent's strength against him. He was actually doing what he should have been doing with a lot of the fights. And then Senshiro comes out, and he's just like, I don't know what to do. Let's
I'll
just
melt
call
him."
an attack.
Yeah. For me, the one thing that I was like, man, they started slowly adding in the anti Justice League, like the monster thing, like way too late. Like that should have been the point of this season, was like the recruitment of like all the baddies, like make like huge name baddies, introduce new huge name baddies, see how they get recruited. Like even the kid, the fast kid that Brian fucking hates.
Oh, Speedo Sound Sonic.
They left that in like the last 10 seconds of the season. I'm like, that would have been a good arc for him for the entire season or something. But nope.
And then you don't even know if anything happened.
Yeah, because he cooks it. Like, what? He's like, I can't eat this raw, and then cooks like a regular meal, and he just eats it normally, and nothing's happening. And then the credits roll, and I'm like, oh, maybe the after credits show something. Nope. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're here next season, dude. And I don't even know how often they release seasons, because I jumped in like after season 1 was already aired. So
it was a while between season 1 and season 2. I was really excited for the season because they started right up front. They they started showing off new characters. Like you got to see, Metal Bat. You got to see
Metal Bat's awesome.
Fubuki and her little squad. You got to see King and find out that bullshit.
Oh my God, King! Oh my Lord!
I was.
Oh my God, dude.
I was really disappointed in that.
Like, of course, that would be the thing. Yeah, he's the best one, but no.
Yeah, he's just been taking credit for Saitama's work the entire time.
Of course, that's. So now he's like, I did like the scene when he was walking down right before he kicks Garo out of the way, because Garo sees King and he's like, oh, I can take out King. They're having that heart to heart, and what is it to be a hero? Why are you bored? And so that was a good scene, good dialogue, good writing, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, King, you're another one that's like the butt of the joke here. Like,
yeah. But, and then like Fubuki was 30 seconds, King was like 35 seconds, Metal Bat was 4 seconds, the dog dude was,
2 5-second shots, because it was like showing him the first time and then showing him a second time before he fought Garo, and then that's it.
And then Terrible Tornado, I forget her name. The little green girl with the telekinesis, the Fubuki's sister.
Hurricane?
Typhoon or something?
Yeah, something Typhoon, something Hurricane. Green Hurricane, Green Typhoon, or some shit.
Thought it was the Terrible Tornado.
Oh, that works. I mean, I don't know the name.
I thought they had like said her real name. Maybe it was just the Terrible Tornado or whatever the actual thing is.
Yeah.
And you get to see her for 4.5 milliseconds
as she just decimates everything and is like, "Hey, be better," and then runs away. And I'm like, "Okay, well."
And then like you said, with the whole, they had a lot of really cool bad guys that were just on screen doing virtually nothing.
Yep.
And then either died or ran away, and it's like, and now I really want to know what the fuck is up with Orochi, the king.
Yeah, the king, the demon king, or whatever the hell it is. Look at him opening fucking rap. Like, that's not getting captured by the fucking mic at all, Randall. You couldn't have opened that in your room and then came out with it? He's late, just makes noises, doesn't have his headphones in. Your mic's live, by the way. God, Jesus, Randall. Don't look at me like you have no idea what's going on right now. What time is it, Randall?
I mean, this is the first week you've started at 8 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday.
He can't hear you, so that joke's not landing on anyone right now. You're killing me, Smalls. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
what else?
all in all, I really enjoyed the season. I really wanted to see more. I think if it was a 24-episode season, they could have had a lot of that filler bullshit that they had in it, where they just had a bunch of talking. And
the tournament, like, I guess the tournament was used to introduce Shoryu, or whatever, the kicker.
And I was really excited to see what happens in the tournament. I really wanted Saitama to like actually learn something, even though he could go talk to Bang and learn whatever the fuck he wanted. But it was just, I feel like they tried to introduce too much over a short period of time, and it made it really boring with a lot of the just filler information that they had trying to do backstory or trying to do introductions, because it was just like, hey, here I am. Okay, I'll see you later. And
Yeah.
then it was the next episode. You're like, what the fuck just happened?
Give me a sec. I gotta sort out this. Oh shit. So One Punch Man season 2, great. It had its moments, but man, I'm just getting sick of it, man. I'm just getting really sick of it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's a payoff at the end of a season, you know? Krill's in the chat. Brian says JoJo's greater than One Punch Man. I guess you've seen a season of one and way more seasons than another, so I have to take your word for it. Excuse me, sorry, I'm gassy. Yeah, that's all I got, man. So it was just fine. I watched the season. I'm like, oh, it's more of the previous one. So with that negativity, go ahead. I had a transition.
I mean, the first season was even though Saitama was like overpowered, it was exciting because there was actual action. You know, like you had even though you knew he was just gonna blow whatever it was away in one hit, there was dialogue and there was character development between him and whatever the fuck he was fighting, and then the thing was dead. You know, and it was like, oh my god, I want to see what happens next. And then the final like 2 or 3 episodes when that ship comes in and he's fighting the boss, like that was fantastic. The fight scene was amazing. It was, you know, it really led you on to believe that like the dude stood a chance, even though you could like after you watch it again, you could clearly see that he had no chance. And then the very end,
yeah.
But then this season, it's like it's all focused on everybody else who are supposed to be these amazing characters that are just super weak, and then Saitama comes in and just punches stuff and it's dead. And there's no there's like no focus on Saitama or development with him. It's just we're like over here watching something, and then boom, Saitama comes in and then the episode's over. And it's like,
yep, that's the formula.
What is the point in having these other characters?
I think my biggest problem with it is they're struggling to balance, hey, this is going to be a over-the-top comedy, and here's world building and actual serious shit happening. And then every time there's that choice, they choose the comedy.
Which is fine.
So, but the comedy doesn't have any substance that moves any development forward, or it's just, hey, it's hilarious, right? All right.
You know, you can definitely see growth from Saitama, which is great. Or I'm sorry, from Genos, which is from season 1, which is great. Because in season 1, he was so worthless.
Yeah,
and
was
then
really
in season
bad.
2, he did a lot better, but it's still like every time he gets into a fight, he underestimates his opponent and then gets something torn off or blown up, or he's, you know, left there just being a skull and spine, you know, struggling to survive.
Yep.
And then Saitama comes in and saves him, or somebody else does, you know. But I don't know. I was really excited to see new character development, even if they had the same comedy style like they had with Saitama in season 1. But there was no real focus. It was just a vomit of information with nothing really happening, but a lot happening, and you're just kind of left wanting more and none at the same time.
Yeah, man. It's one of those, hey, okay, I saw the season 2, it's whatever. Hopefully the next one's better. Like this one, I think, was a step down from the first season, mostly because now we're seeing the formula, and the formula's doesn't have the payoff, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I tell you to skip it, Brian, or what, but you might enjoy. I don't know if you'll enjoy it more than the first one.
I don't really expect anything out of the show. It's just something fun to watch.
Okay. All right. Speaking of it's fine, we got through it. It's just another one. Stranger Things, Season 3.
I'll let you guys talk about that while I step away. Be right
Okay.
back.
All right, Randall, you ready? You came in hot on this. All right.
Aim the mic at yourself.
Your microphone, Randall. Let's go, man. It's not your first day at the rodeo, dude. Let's go.
Could somebody
Fill you in.
please do me a favor and tell Kelsey that he's pronouncing Saitama's name wrong.
Oh, because he's saying Saitama.
Every time he says it, it's cringy.
Well, that's him being his American self. That's how you say it as an American. Saitama, dude. Anyway, Stranger Things season 3. Who wants to go first? Brian, you want to go first? Do you care?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, well I'll go first. And what I did like,
Well, why don't we do this?
go.
Obviously, all three of us are very disappointed, so why don't we just talk about only the things that were positive?
Well, give me a minute to think of what was positive. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Soundtrack was good.
And away from the mic, like underneath somewhere, like that shit's loud.
Okay, sorry.
People don't want to hear crackling on the mic. This man has no podcast etiquette, dude.
What are you talking about? They do this on podcasts all the time. You
And
hear people shuffling around papers.
No one
moving
likes
chairs.
that. Just because it happens to me, man. If you saw someone shoot someone, you're like, it's okay to shoot someone.
But I'm
because
saying
like,
on every podcast I've ever watched, you always hearing them moving around stuff.
what podcast you listen to, Randall? I'm gonna put you on the spot right now.
Vlad.
Vlad.
Yeah.
Who's Vlad?
You know what that is, right? Brian.
I don't know what the hell that is.
You don't?
Oh, if you explain it, Vlad is the most generic Russian name.
Like,
so I don't
do you
know.
watch like Russian importing or something? Like,
You're
what
talking
is,
I'm
about-
pronouncing
like
it wrong.
Vlad TV?
Yeah.
he has a podcast.
The guy that interviews our rappers and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Ew.
Yeah. What? He's trash, dude.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. He needs to be sorry. Well, that's why you hear it, because he's trash. So
Even on the Breakfast Club.
on
They make tons of noise.
Randall, I've seen a lot of interviews on Breakfast Club. They don't make rapper up this close next to the mic noise, Randall. There's no. Show me 3 videos where that happens.
Okay.
Well, where you're opening a thing right here. No, that's incorrect. Stranger Things season 3. What did you like about it, Randall? And don't say soundtrack, because those songs were made in the 80s.
I already said soundtrack.
The soundtrack.
Oh my god.
11. I think she's a very good actress.
Millie Bobby Brown?
She does a very good job at portraying
An American.
someone who, even though she is human, she is like she's not, because she's been isolated for so long that she's still learning different things.
Yeah.
So she does a very good job at like making me feel like she's really been in some sort of isolation. Yeah, I don't like him. I forget his name.
Turn this man's mic up. You can't hear him. What? It is all the way up. You need to speak closer to the mic, homie. How far away is that shit?
Yo, how close do you have to be to a microphone?
Like it's your tongue. That's how close.
No, it doesn't have to be that close.
Yeah, I've never seen a mic this close to somebody.
Because you're watching Vlad TV. That's probably why. And there's Alexa just being a piece of shit.
Usually, the ideal distance is like a fist away, like a closed fist away. Usually,
Well,
This is way closer than the fist, bro.
no, it's not. It's
I don't
actually
know whose
further.
fist is this
It's actually
small.
further than your fist right now, Randall. We can put this camera to the side if that's what you really want. I'm looking at it. You can fit your fist like maybe
This-
2.5.
This thing is.
Then put it closer.
I don't want it closer to me. I want it further away.
Closer to the mic, Randall, not you. For fuck's sake, this shit show, dude.
Is this
Stranger Things season 3.
Well, like I was saying, the soundtrack, 11, the actress, I don't remember her real name. I love the 80s, so that's a huge plus. A lot of those stores in a mall,
Okay.
I recognize
You've
and
been
remember.
You've been in those.
Gave me a very nostalgic feeling.
That's what.
Although
what
it was what was weird, it wasn't weird, but it was interesting because I wasn't around when the mall first opened up, like when they first started opening malls.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what it's like for that era when businesses were like competing with the mall, and I guess they were like getting shut down or they had to relocate and stuff like that. So that's something I never thought about because obviously when I was born, the malls had already been around for a long time.
Uh-huh.
So that was interesting to see that they added into the show. What else did I like? Oh, I was getting ready to say before. I think his name is Dustin. That's the one with the missing teeth.
With the girl.
Yeah.
With the. We'll get to it. Go ahead.
That's his name, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, I actually like his character, even though I know you guys don't. I don't like that part that happened towards the end of the movie. I was going to say movie. Excuse me. Towards the end of this episodes, or the episode. But his character, for some reason, I don't know. I think he's funny. What else? I don't know. This just like a lot of the reasons why I like this season was because it wasn't so much plot points and what was going on. It was more so like the nostalgic feeling. And I loved my childhood. So anything that reminds me of that resonates with me like really well. And I think that's one of the biggest pluses that I can give Stranger Things is that they do a very good job in making me feel like I'm in the 80s. I don't feel like I'm watching a TV series that's about the 80s or that takes place in the 80s. Like it feels like the 80s, if that makes any sense.
A little bit. All right, Brian. Anything you like?
Soundtrack was good. I mean, I said that before you said that. It's just no one listens to me. Set design, like you said, was good. Costume design, they did a good job for like a. It's not called an era piece, right? Whenever they take whatever something's based in a certain time period that's not today. What is that called?
That's what? A set piece? Or what? A period piece?
Yeah, there you go. It does a good job setting up. Oh, what was it like in? I don't remember what state they're in at that time.
Hawkins, Indiana.
That's it. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, well, you guys have more to say. I don't think I can think of something I liked. Everything was just fine or I didn't like it. So let's start with what we didn't like. All right, not start. Finish with what we didn't like about season 3 of Stranger Things.
Season 3.
Let's start off with the Terminator that came out of nowhere at the end, who for some reason just doesn't die. It was a Russian
This
dude.
season had like too many points of conflict that made me just not care about any of them in general. Like there's so many different plots, basically sagas, that you spend so much time having a vast number of it that none of them were fully fleshed out to the point where they mattered.
What was the name of the main kid that's always getting screwed over?
Will?
So you didn't feel anything for Will either?
Will's like
Nothing
struggle
happened this season.
Yeah, was I just want to play D&D with my bros. Like that's all he wanted to do.
He's just
And
tired
that
of
was
getting
his-
gated for 2 seasons, and he's like, let me just try it, or like the way things were, and everybody's like, it's not like how it was, and then he's all sad and shit.
Yeah, like he don't. His use was, hey, the enemy's here, and I want to play D&D with my bros. That's all he did.
And you didn't feel anything because he was going through that stuff?
They gave it like 30 seconds of it. They made the point of, hey, he doesn't want to do it, and then he threw his stuff away at the end, saying, oh, we do got to move on. and they moved. Why is Ellie moving with them if her boyfriend's right there?
Probably because she doesn't want to be in the same city where her dad died. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be heavily spoiler. So
It's kind of the reason why what the family's leaving in the first place. The buyers. Too much shit going on. A lot of bad history there.
I don't buy
Not
it.
safe. Yeah, but they're the buyers, not you.
They're the Wheelers.
Do you guys think that this is the end of Stranger Things?
No.
No, and that's the sad part. Should have ended it. The very latest it should have ended was season 2. I would have been fine without a season 2.
You're gross. Season 1. After I saw season 2, it should have ended at season 1.
That's why I said at the very latest. I already said this before. Season 1, stop milking it. Then they put season 2 out, and I was like, that was alright. Should end it. Season 3, big proof as to why they should have ended it by now.
Yeah, it just become, oh, it's fine. I watched them like, okay. It has, the formula's there. It's got 80 stuff in it. It didn't have the Upside Down, which that's the whole fucking point of the Stranger Things,
They
in my
had it
opinion.
for a frame, and that was basically it, just for Billy.
Just to show Billy, hey, what are you doing? Hey, get more dudes. Just get as many dudes as you possibly can, right? All right, cool. And I come back here in the Upside Down for you? No, I'm already in. I'll find you, homie. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna be here anymore. I hate this place. I'm moving. And the thing wasn't as big as it was. It was advertised in the Upside Down. In the first season, you see a thing towering in the back end somewhere, and when he inserted that black whatever into Will in season 2, that shit was massive. Now here it looks like one of the evil things from like a slightly bigger version of the Resident Evil 5 creatures that have the huge tongues.
The liquor?
The lickers. That's what it's just a little bigger version. Like if 2 of them did the fusion dance. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense because they would be the same size, according to the rules of the fusion. Krill in the chat says the problem is that season 1 is always more of a personal / love child, whereas after the show gets renewed, it's just trying to make more money. It happens with like 75% of the shows. For this show, I get that. I definitely see it seems that way for me. The final boss battle was not. Oh my god! Every time there's anything with supernatural, it's Ellie here doing her hand thing. She's bleeding. We move on, and then rinse and repeat every other 2 episodes. Until the last one, it's like, hey, now the humans can fucking help her. Let's sing a fucking song. What? There's adults there with lives on the line, and they just let her sing. Fam, what? Ren, I'm looking at you for answers right now.
I don't know what happened. I feel like people was just like, I want to go on vacation, just write whatever so we can end this.
Like what is the right? There were the horror tropes were heavy this season. Like they do when it's like do something smart or dumb, they run towards the dumb shit.
I don't know how more people didn't die this season.
Everyone has like stupid plot armor. Like nobody was at risk at any time. And that's what I'm like, I don't know.
That's his point.
Kirill, Game of Thrones did well, partly because the story was pretty fleshed out up until the later season. Yeah,
that's the issue with these shows that where they only write out the first season and then they're like, oh, you have to renew. So they're writing to catch up to the demand, whereas things like Game of Thrones already have plenty of source material they can use. I don't know if Breaking Bad had a story they wanted to tell and when they wanted to end it, but they have like at least a roadmap, whereas this is just, oh, season 1 did well, let's throw this in for the next season. It doesn't make sense, and it shows that the show's faltering because of their poor planning.
What was I gonna say? What's his name? Vince Gilligan, the showrunner of Breaking Bad, already had how the show was gonna end. Like he knew what was gonna happen in that show, and what he wanted to happen in that show. So, back to Stranger Things season 3. Yeah, dude, that last part, man, like that killed any excitement I had for the rest of that show. This fucking girl comes in that's introduced, that her name was dropped in the beginning of this season, and then they finally give her 20 seconds of airtime. Let's sing a song.
I think it would have. Oh,
What?
you talking about her?
Yeah.
I thought she was talking about the other girl.
What other girl?
The one that was I can't remember anybody's name. The one that was with the dude that works at the ice cream shop.
Robin's a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the love interest. What happened?
So I was getting ready to say was that I think it would have been better if they had to take Bryant's route. Oh no, it was you. I think
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
When you said it was one of you, I can't remember which one of you said it, but y'all was saying like it. What if she like is actually working for the Russians and she's
That
like?
was me.
I think I think even though it was kind of predictable if it did happen, I think that plot twist would have been better than what they gave us.
Yeah, oh my God, the relationship stuff between 11 and not
Mike.
Will and Mike. Like at points where there's like I don't want to. They give me those scenes where I don't care about it when there's something big happening, and I'm like the I don't know if it's the pacing. Like when the moments when they chose to handle those situations, I'm like I don't care about this right now. People are getting abducted out there. Wow, you broke. Oh, I dump your ass. Okay.
You know what they should have done? They should have played. What's his name? Mike.
Yeah.
11's love interest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They should have played on that. Like they should have used him as like had his life hanging in the balance because they kept throwing their relationship into our face the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
So if they would have did something where like 11 went through that whole case where she lost her powers and then something happens to him, maybe he gets captured or maybe he's like about to die or some junk like that and she can't do anything about it, then you introduce some sort of
Gohan ability where he just reacts emotionally to his powers.
It doesn't have to be that extreme, but just like a new creative way on how to deal with the situation because now you take away the one thing that's been solving all the problems, which is her powers. Mm-hmm. Now she doesn't have that anymore. Now you have to create another way for these people to succeed. And then on top of it, now the stakes are higher because now her boyfriend is in a situation where either he can die or is about to die, but she can't do anything about it because she doesn't have her powers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should have did something like that, but
and that's the thing. Like the stakes were never high for me. Like I'm watching this, I'm like, I know all these people are gonna be fine. The one time I'm like, oh shit, is when Billy had that weird fucking like dream or something when he was in that closet and he like smashes Mike's mom's head into the side. I'm like, oh shit, we're going dark this season. Nope. Yeah. They're like, no, that was just him thinking about doing it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. They should have done that, and they should have. What's her name? Will's brother, and then what's his name's sister?
Oh, Nancy and
Nancy
and Jonathan.
One of them, or both of them, should have died in the hospital scene. I don't know how. I don't know how she survived. I don't know how. It took that long for the monster to do anything that a bunch of kids went from downstairs, realized there's something happening, then went all the way to their floor, then found that room, and then hit it before the monster killed her.
Yeah, I agree. Like especially when like every time Billy would take the new people to the basement, and it took a maximum like 2 seconds before it's already throwing things in their mouth. Why was it waiting here? It was right in front of her. But no, I'm gonna go up to you and smell you. Like, those tropes. I'm like, come on, dude. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's it's getting to the point where it's so obvious that they're trying to drag things out, so like the hero can show up at the last second and save them.
Yeah, it's very anime. It's very Dragon Ball Z, dude. Like, oh, what's about it? No, Krillin's gonna die. Well, here comes Android 18 or fucking something to save his life, or like at the last frame and stops a punch or a blast or deflects a blast. Oh, look, he made it. Okay. Like, there's no...
Even in that show, if he dies, guess what? He's back for some reason.
They always have something to, like, bring everything back to normal. Like, it's like, no, we gotta live with shit. People died, you know? And spoilers again if you haven't...
They need to make a show. The Until Dawn creators.
Oh.
Well, if they're gonna do one, they should do the interactive thing that Netflix has been doing. Instead of doing just a show, because at that point we don't get to see the options. and how things would play out. What was I gonna say? And then the death that does happen, I think was just like definitely forced. Like, which is like spoilers. Hopper dies at the end, so we think. I'm sure that maybe he's in the upside. Yo, where was the upside down this season? Like that's what made it for me cool. The first season fantastic. I'm like, oh, what the hell is the upside down? How is it manifested? Where's like, I don't know. The Australia says Kuro. That's funny.
People are making a stupid amount of theories as to why Hopper's alive. Oh, because the scientists, we saw them get erased, but we didn't see him. It's because he was literally right next to the thing that exploded, so they didn't have time to show him get deleted.
Yeah, like the scientists were far enough away where the laser, the energy that was pulsing from it evaporated him. He was literally smelling the cologne on the fucking beam this time. So as it exploded, he's the first thing to go.
And I mean, that could have been avoided. I don't know if Joyce is like allergic to guns or like it's just like what is the thing that makes cats go stupid?
Catnip.
Yeah, if they had catnip and she didn't know how to deal with them.
Yo, the first time she uses a gun, she Kobe's it over the tallest man in that show. How?
She could have just either slid it or did this. Oh, thanks.
And killed the Terminator.
Having a whole fight where they're barely moving. There's an AK on the floor next to her. The magnets don't work on my fridge. I need to figure that out.
Yeah, dude, why is the magnet working?
It's fucking. I don't know.
And then the Russian dude with the bearded guy, like, oh, just hang out here. Nothing wrong can happen. Get shot immediately.
What's worse about it is these people are supposed to be smart and they're doing stupid things.
Hopper is a deputy. He's a sheriff.
Yeah.
Why is he being so like making these reckless ass decisions?
This goes back to like every time we have a movie review, I always bring up the same thing. Characters making dumb decisions.
Yeah, and it's like it might be cool for like a popcorn, like, hey, let's hang out and drink and like for a fun time. But you're making these claims, the most watched show and stuff, but don't give us this content, dude. Like when they go into any season, they should be expecting some good shit. Like first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, that shit was fire. They were being consistently good. Like dialogue was there. I mean, obviously, like Brian said, it's off of material that's already written, but like I don't know. Man, this season was just whatever. If you want to watch it, cool. There's nothing like out of this world happening. It's fucking 11 saving the day every last second. She's lost. I don't know how much blood she's lost in the matter of these 3 seasons. Like I'm sure.
At this point, it was coming out of her ears.
Yeah, like what were we just talking about? One Punch Man. The amount of blood that Garo lost is almost as equal as how much 11 lost the last 3 seasons. Like how is she okay? Like they didn't show enough character like relationship with Hopper and her, like the father-daughter stuff. It was only like a couple episodes, and it wasn't really. They never really had the heart-to-heart. They saved it till the end, but by the end, dude, I was done. After that song came on to save the fucking day, I was done with that season.
There needs to be like some sort of contingency where like you have like I don't know a group or something like after a story is written, and every like the writers finalize it before they actually go into production. There needs to be like a final group that it goes through that says, no, don't do this. This is stupid.
I'm pretty sure they still do that, and that's and stuff just gets approved.
Yeah, man, like because then it'll cost them more money to rewrite stuff.
I mean that's how you end up with. Don't you people have phones?
Man.
Yeah, I came back in and all I heard was, she just comes in and saves the day, and I was like, I thought we finished One Punch Man.
Yeah, dude, like. That's just not for me, man. Like after a while, I'm like, okay, then there's no stakes here. After I watched it's because I'm blaming Game of Thrones here. Because Game of Thrones gives you stakes. Like anyone could fucking die in the first couple seasons. Then they started adding a lot of plot armor. But
Kelsey, basically, this season of Stranger Things is imagine us 5 are fortified in a building, and we had to protect ourselves from something that's bigger than any of us.
Can I stop you? Sorry, why'd you say 5?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I was waiting for him to finish so that I could be
You know the
like.
sad thing?
So I just wanna clarify. Who
So-
was the fifth person?
So the worst part is, I saw my camera and thought it was another person.
Wow. I was actually kind of scared because if Brian sees something in our cameras that we don't, like there's a person about to kill
Wait,
us or some shit.
Only Randall's in the back?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, so that demon's not.
Can we continue on, please?
So imagine, yeah, us five, two versions of me, are in like a building trying to protect ourselves from big threat. The big threat comes in, and one person's trying to defend everybody else from this threat. Would you sit there and watch them do it, or would you be like, oh shit, they're doing it on their own, let me contribute in some way?
I would probably try and contribute. You know, it's like what? There's no point in dying off one by one. Like you either die as a group, and at least you tried, or, you know, like what?
Now imagine 8 hours of, now you got this.
And then they just watch. Every time.
What is this, Dragon Ball Z? Like the Saiyans being like, nah, bitch, this is mine.
Yeah, it's because that's the only person that can do anything against the threat that's happening is 11 at this point. So it's, hey, how long can we drag this out until 11 hits him with her visible hand power thing, and then you see them in frame just watching while she's doing her powers, and I'm like, come on, dude, like they tried like a couple seconds of the action sequence to like help and like cut or like use axes and stuff, but it wasn't like season 1. Like season 1 when Jonathan and Nancy were trapped in that house with the Demogorgon coming in, that shit was tense. You're like, these kids can die any time. They only had was one shotgun, and what was the other weapon? And then I think what's the name was there? Robin's
His bat.
The bat was
Are you
there.
talking about season 3 or are you talking about season
1 when they got to Will's house?
Bat.
Like that shit was intense. Like they had barely anything. It's the humans against the fucking huge thing. They weren't depending on Ellie the entire time, just saving the day. They held their own. I keep saying Ellie. 11. Sorry,
Yeah.
It's because
You've been calling her Ellie a bunch.
I'm sorry. It's because my name is Joel without the beard, and I'm Last of Us 2.
I'm Mysterio. You can use that for transition.
We'll get to that. We're just getting through the negative stuff. That's all I have to say, man. Like, it's not a terrible season. It's whatever. Like, I'm very indifferent about it. I'm like, okay, I got to see the characters again. And say goodbye to a character that I liked. Huh?
You're stealing my review style now?
Yeah, dude. It's effective. It gets articles. It gets, anyway. Excuse me. You guys have anything to add before we move on?
I really like
I'm
the
just
music.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Randall.
music's pretty good. What do you think, Randall?
I think it was really, really good.
I would say.
Kelsey, it was just
Justin,
literally.
music, yeah or nay?
It's literally an 80s playlist. They picked songs from the 80s and played them. Granted, what else could they do? Because it's from the 80s, so I'm
They could
not.
have picked bad 80s music.
Sure, I guess. But I'm not gonna give them. Oh, you got a great soundtrack. You went on Spotify, picked some fucking songs that a lot of people like, and then played them on certain areas. I don't know.
I'm just tired of people who their bias is so blinding that they just, before the season's over, like, can't wait for the next season. They can't
Before
they can't,
the season's over.
yeah, that's basically what it felt like with this show, because the fan base is so drawn, I guess, to the series. They can't objectively see. I guess it's not objective because we don't have the views for the season yet, but they don't see any flaws for this. They just they're part of the problem because the show's clearly declining, and they're just demanding that more be made.
It's the Walking Dead syndrome, man. It's gonna keep going and going. Oh, speaking of
Were
views, Brian, they already have. It's already breaking records of how many people watched it.
Season 3 of.
Yeah, I saw it this morning.
Well, yeah, that's because it was a good show, and
That first season, man, classic.
first season was awesome. I never bothered to watch the second season, but
You're not missing much. There's a good portion of it that has nothing to do with the present day story.
I didn't watch it immediately because I was like, I don't want to ruin this. I want to just hang on to the thought that this is an amazing show.
Yeah, and the
And then
first season's
season 2
that.
came out, and everybody was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
You know?
it wasn't horrific.
it
It
was
was just
alright.
like, what? Yeah, it's just ever since first season one, it hasn't lived up to season one. It's just been okay. All right, I'm done talking about it, dude. We're moving on. Fuck this.
You don't
Shout
have
out
any
to the
thoughts on the
music.
soundtrack?
No,
Yeah,
I don't
shout out
have
to the-
thoughts on the playlist they picked on Spotify. I don't give it. No, they played 80s songs, Randall. I don't have a. Oh my god.
Maybe they didn't use Spotify. Maybe they use iTunes.
Whatever it was, Randall. Whatever thing they did. Whatever, dude. I don't care. All right, it was
Good
just
soundtrack, I'd say.
like
though.
I don't even remember the score. They even had scores on there that wasn't like original sound, like original music, and I don't remember it. But it's crazy
It
how
was
you guys
like-
are just like 80s music, fam. That's what you remember, the fucking playlist?
They played a lot of Madonna.
Yeah, they did. They
Well, I
definitely
mean, if that is what they remembered more than the show, there's a problem.
Oh no, well they remember
Like-
the show. It's just that from the soundtrack, like I think there was actual original score there. I don't remember it, but everyone's gonna remember the '80s tracks because again, it's from the '80s. Those are songs that were made and were popular. And
Because the 80s were
Yeah,
the best.
but this doesn't really sound like it's not like the Guardians of the Galaxy where the 80s soundtrack is like kind of a whole backstory with
yeah, it's not that
with
at
the
all.
character. Like I mean that the 80s soundtrack that whatever his name is listening to, there was a reason for it,
Yes.
and it's a character builder. It's not. It based in the 80s. There's gonna be 80s music. Like that's what
Thank
it is.
you. Kelsey he just solved the equation just now, dude. That's exactly my
like-
point here.
If they're playing, you know, Lil Nas in an
No,
80s
stop.
movie.
In an
like-
'80s movie.
Yeah, you know, like
He was
what?
there.
That's not how this works.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Kelsey coming in after not talking about Stranger Things, he comes in and saves it. Oh my god! Talking about saving, Spider-Man was out here saving people in London. Was it London? Yeah, and well, they traveled to Europe. So we went to go see Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Wow, we was busy. I just see.
Yeah, we saw all of Black Mirror season 5, all of Stranger Things. I saw the remainder that I had left for One Punch Man. We all saw Spider-Man. He saw Alita finally. He liked it.
Who?
Yeah, Kelsey.
Oh,
But you weren't here. It's fucking
Ooh.
shocker, dude. Just kidding. And then yeah, we talked about One Punch Man. When you talk about One Punch Man and Alita, to buy time for you to get here. And luckily, right at the end of One Punch Man, you got here. Oh, Kelsey, Randall does not like the way you say Saitama's name.
Saitama.
Yeah, he's like no.
Saitama. You wanted me to say Saitama?
Yeah, Saitama.
I can shoot Kelsey some defense here.
Go for it.
Randall, what's Emilia Clarke's character's name in Game of Thrones?
Daenerys?
It's Daenerys, not Daenerys.
What is it?
Daenerys.
Daenerys?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Brian set you up. Yo, you gotta work on yourself. If this is how he's attacking you right now, dude, you better get on those sticks. You called, he's.
He probably was going to get me worse because I was about to say Khaleesi.
Oh shit! You saved yourself some damage there.
Because I know that's what they call her, but that's not her actual name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a title. So Spider-Man. Before we start with this,
I'm waiting for Brian to
I
come
just
in
wanna-
costume.
yeah,
I thought you were gonna say before we start, and then you put the bowl on. Sorry,
I
go
wish,
ahead.
dude. So last podcast, I made a small wager. I made a guess as to what would happen in the movie,
Oh,
and
that's true.
if certain stipulation was correct, you guys have to claim something.
Well, say
and-
it because some people might be joining in now.
And for those joining, I made a prediction that at some point in Spider-Man: Far From Home,
Spoilers, by the
Okay.
way. Sorry, Brian.
yeah,
Spoilers. Yeah.
one of the characters that we already know is going to be a scroll in disguise. And I was right times two because two of them were scrolls in disguise.
Yes,
and
and
if
the
that
post-
were to happen, these people had to.
People.
They can't argue the fact, and they have to agree with the claim that I'm from the future.
And I'm gonna get this over with, but let me say it. Fuck. Return that. Don't do it. Do it backwards.
Who?
Thank you. All right. Brian is from the future, son.
Who?
There you go. Man, that's not funny. We're serious. Anyway, back on. Hey, oh, I guess spoilers because we're all going to spoil it for him. All right, so Spider-Man Far From Home takes Peter Parker to Europe on a vacation with his friends who also conveniently went to the blip. So none of them aged, except one. I think his name was Brad, right? Was it Brad?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So on this trip, he's Peter Parker is trying to get those DMs for Zendaya's character.
You just started laughing for us. I don't know what you're saying.
Yep, it's fucking up already. Discord, sort it out, man. I'm switching servers real quick. Hold on.
I think it's just your internet. Never mind.
It could be because it still says connected with the red logo. Oh, it's good.
No, your stream's fine.
All right, cool. What was I talking about? See, this shit always fucks me up.
He was in London. He's trying to, and then he stopped.
Oh yeah. Trying to get into MJ's digits, but the kid who's lived through the blip, which by the way, the blip is the snap that happened in Infinity War. He grew up. He also interested in MJ, and that becomes a pretty funny like a love triangle between MJ and the two dudes. Anyway, upon visiting Europe, there's an elemental fight that Mysterio. Well, at the time his name was just something. What is his name? Beck.
Quentin Beck,
who at the time was not called Mysterio. He calls himself Mysterio after Spider-Man tells him that that's what the kids were calling him, and he liked this, so he's like, yeah. And then shit starts happening. They sort of join forces, and then spoilers: Mysterio is actually a bad guy. They fight it out. Spider-Man wins, but Mysterio gets the upper hand at the end because then he reveals to the world that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And then that's how the movie ends. Quick plot thing there. I didn't want to go beat by beat, but all right, people. Let's go with the negatives or positives first.
Negatives.
Negatives? All right, what you didn't like? What didn't you like?
You're gonna have to skip me. I have to think about what I didn't like.
For fuck's sake. Randall, what didn't you like about Spider-Man Far From Home?
I can't think of anything that I didn't like. I think it was I mean, it's not really a part of the plot, but I
think you're gonna say exactly what I'm gonna say. Well, the one thing I didn't like. Go for it.
See, now I don't want to say it because what if I'm wrong, and then that means we won't be eye to eye, and then that's just gonna mess things up. So,
I'm sorry. Well, this is it.
So, like, the pressure's on for me to say what I gotta say, and if it's not what you gonna say, then it just throws everything off.
It's Evo Grand Finals, dude.
And I'm almost sure we're not talking about the same thing.
Okay, well, go for it, man.
I was gonna say that the thing that bothered me is the whole why he couldn't get help. Like, everybody is somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Well, everyone happens to be doing their own movie or something.
On, man. Especially if this is supposed to be an Avenger level threat.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's some, if you want to pretend it's plot armor, since it was a Skrull, Nick Fury, maybe he didn't know, so that was his way of covering it up.
That's also very true. That's a good point. Now looking back at it. My one and only at the time thinking, no, he's not saying Squirrel Curl. He's saying Skrull, Skrull. My one thing that I didn't like, and that it's small, but it kind of shat on my hopes and dreams. In the trailers, they made us believe that there is a multiverse.
Oh yeah.
But upon realizing that Quentin Beck is a fucking liar. We don't know for sure if they're going to be going that route with multiverses. They could have been all part of his little play or his lie or whatever, and we have to live with the fact that there's not going to be a Spider-Verse or there's might not be a Secret Wars in the future.
That would have been such a nice post-credit thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that post-credit could have been something more than, hey, there's Skrulls. Fam, we know there's Skrulls. Unless they're doing something sinister so we can set up what's happening in Phase 4, fam, I don't care. You know? Like, yeah, I guess that was cute, but...
There's 2 Phase 4 movies I would probably look forward to seeing if the multiverse is real. And that's Doctor Strange, the next movie he gets. Because, I mean, the person that even mentioned multiple pocket dimensions was the Ancient One. And I'm assuming since he's Sorcerer Supreme, he knows about that, so he can confirm or deny. And 2 is if Fantastic Four is brought into the MCU in Phase 4.
I'm thinking there is a Doctor
of
Strange
Reed.
2 happening, so I think if there is going to be a multiverse, that's when they'll introduce it. Because like Brian says, he should know that he should know about it, especially since he saw a billion different outcomes of the upcoming fight. Like he knows there's different timelines. Chris says I really want to make this movie about the Primordials. I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
So
Big galactic energy beings.
I thought they were the Eternals. Whatever. What I did like. Great Spider-Man sequences. They didn't have like a long one shot of him zipping around. There was a lot more cuts this time around, but the fighting sequences were great. Especially when he had one of the great use of like environmental while he's fighting, like the mace thing and the shield that he used to get up onto the bridge on the last fight. Him zipping through a bunch of the drones that were making the illusions. That was a pretty cool thing, just watching him zip around. What was I gonna say? Damn, I'm blanking out. I gotta use the restroom. That's why.
Go pee then. I'll do some ASMR for a while.
We're not doing ASMR here. Kelsey's having a fantastic time right now.
Looks like he's already planning the divorce.
Oh shit! It does look like he's listening to someone. Anyway, damn, I gotta pee.
Then go to the bathroom.
I'm trying to think, but I wanted to get something else off. What I did like about it.
The scene, you say like the combat.
Oh, Mysterio.
Scenes.
Yeah, and the Mysterio's even though they're all like fake shit, watching Mysterio use like his fake energy and shit was really cool. And the bond between before Beck actually did give a shit about Peter. He just wanted his own, like, I think he genuinely actually wanted a friend in Peter, but then they just happened to cross, like, you know?
He kept saying that he tried to get him the fuck out of there and go to MJ so he would not have to kill him.
Yeah. And then he tried to just keep him away from his shit. This is going to be his business. Let him be Spider-Man somewhere else. I don't know. The Jake Gyllenhaal, that man has done so many good movies that I like, that I've been following him. He did fantastic as Mysterio. This was the one scene is him yelling at his drones to fire bullets. That's the one thing you need to see him do. I think he's genuinely angry. Like someone hit him in his toe and he just started yelling. It's fantastic. I gotta go use the restroom. You guys hold it on. Keep talking about Spider-Man.
All right, so things that I liked. Before I even get into this list, I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna need to watch the movie again to confirm this, but it might be my favorite out of that and Homecoming.
Really?
Just because I like Mysterio more than Vulture, and it was less of like the high schooly prom stuff. It was more on the hero side of Peter, and you can see him slowly going into the scientist side when he's making his own suit.
Yeah.
I like that even though Tony's not around anymore, he's still basically in this movie.
Yeah. I like the whole the acronym. Even though I'm dead, I'm still the hero.
Yeah, Edith.
Yeah.
There's a theory with that might make me happy. So spoiler, Mysterio's not around anymore. Rip, gone too soon. That's my boy. That's me. Someone said or thinks that. Do you remember how Peter had to give confirmation?
I know what you're gonna say. You talking about the giving off the glasses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That he had to give confirmation to Edith so that they can, I guess, switch primary owners so that Quentin can use it with like full authorization. And at the end of the movie, Peter takes the Edith glasses back from Quentin, but he doesn't have to do the confirmation. So people were saying that they think Quentin still used effects on there or like a trick so that it would show him as dead so that he could get away and he might be back.
Yeah. That's crazy if that's true.
I really hope so.
So he like faked 2 deaths. He faked one where he looked like he was on the ground about to die. Then he did the fake one when he was about to pull a trigger, which I don't understand. I don't understand how if that was an illusion, how would he have pulled that off? Because Peter grabbed his hand.
What do you mean?
So when he did the gunshot,
Mm-hmm.
in order for Peter to stop the gunshot, he had to grab him. So that had to be the real him.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was faking that, I'm trying to figure out how did he fake that if Peter actually grabbed him.
Because remember, he's still fighting the drones after he gets shot by the drone. So he has like that whole fight sequence to conjure some shit up. So I think he actually got shot, but I don't think it was actually fatal. If I'm supporting this theory 100% out of want for him to be alive. So I think in between that fight, he did all like the trickery.
Yeah. That would make sense too, because why would he go through this whole elaborate thing to like ruin Spider-Man's reputation and then out his secret identity if he didn't plan on sticking around to see the outcome?
Mm-hmm. He doesn't really benefit anything from it, I would say, because if he's dead, who cares if Peter's not kept secret anymore?
Yeah.
Which, the way they're building him, it seems like he's going to be the next Tony anyway. So I guess maybe that's the parallel they're trying to draw at the end of Iron Man 1. Is it Iron Man 1 or 2 where he says, "Oh, I'm Iron Man"?
Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
I think they try to draw parallels since a lot of this movie has to do with Tony even though he's gone. Instead of him revealing he's Spider-Man, someone else did it. Just to draw like a parallel like they've been doing the whole movie.
I'm never going to be okay with this, man. I've come to grips with it. Like, Tony
As
being
Anthony's
gone.
there, just collecting his tears.
Yep.
Like, Tony being gone, man, that just hit me really hard, man. And then it was even worse because it's like they sprinkled in all these little, like, hey, there's Tony. Hey, there's Tony. Hey, there's Tony. And it's like...
But that's on purpose. That's for Peter's inner struggle with taking that... Remember the thing he gave him? The heavy lies the crown on the head? Or whatever. I forgot the quote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
Well, that's... A lot of that part was done really well. It's another thing I can add. It was a quick scene. It was him making his armor. Well, I'm sorry, his armor, his suit. These aren't tears. And Happy gives him. It's a zoom in on Happy, giving him the same look as when Iron Man, where Tony Stark was actually making his suit. This is very. Hey, this is. You can see a lot of Tony in Peter, and that's the same thematic. I guess, framing they did throughout the entire movie. It's always, hey, this is him believing in himself near the end with his spidey sense, his spidey tingle. What is it? The spidey tingle or whatever the hell it is? The Peter tingle, which is actually his spider senses weren't working after Infinity War and Endgame because he was just super stressed out. Because I mean, who wouldn't in that fucking situation? And then now once he started taking a breath and believing himself, taking on the mantle of, hey, well, I'm gonna have to take care of the business because my person I looked up to / father figure that helped in the previous movie, which if you haven't seen Homecoming, you'll see why this matters so much to Peter. And even to Tony by the end of Endgame. But now we're talking about a different movie. Yeah, there's a lot to like in this movie. If you haven't watching this would be a good like trilogy thing. You'd watch Far From Home, watch Infinity War and Endgame, and then watch this, and you see a fantastic arc for Peter Parker in this. Tom Holland delivers it fantastically. He has a scene in the air. I don't know if you guys already talked about this already, and I'm just rehashing here, but Happy and him have a conversation after he getting healed up, and you see Peter Parker at his most vulnerable. The kid can act huge. Every time that kid sheds a tear, you want to shed a tear so he doesn't have to shed a tear. So, shouts out to Tom Holland, Jake Gyllenhaal. The acting was phenomenal.
They picked the right villain for what happened at the end of Endgame because he's like, you can see the holes in his armor, so to say. No Tony thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the villain they put for him to go against after everything that happened is a character who basically draws that out. He's basically the Scarecrow of the Marvel universe.
Did you
So
guys already?
that scene
Okay,
when
you
he's
were talking about-
fighting, or when he realizes he got duped, so he actually goes and kind of confronts Mysterio. The whole CG scene of Mysterio basically bodying him and just,
mentally.
like, yeah, and playing with his mind and emotions. I think that scene alone is better than most of the MCU movies altogether.
It was a fantastic sequence of just him psychologically breaking down Peter Parker, and it was done beautifully. What a visual train, like a roller coaster, dude. It was great.
There's a part that even I was like, no, you went a little too far. Where he's showing him a bunch of things that he shouldn't, like, to get into his head, and he shows, him being trapped in a New York snow globe, as in he would never make it into the big leagues of, like, an international hero.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like throwing Peter's body around, and he stops him in front of Tony's tombstone and says, maybe you're the reason why Tony's not around anymore, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew how hard that hit because the audio went off for that part. It went quiet, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, somebody get this boy, because he's saying some disrespectful shit right now.
Yeah, Peter did not know the matchup.
That kid was getting hit left and right, man. That was a fantastic sequence, man. That showed off Mysterio's power, I guess. If that's a term for him.
It showed off how good of a job Gyllenhaal did with this character. Which is why I need him to stay alive and make that whole theory.
I hope he's
Oh my
alive,
God.
man. Like, I hope that this is one of those character villains you don't want to lose. Like, Loki was fantastic. Like Thanos.
That's
Thanos
why they
being
need him
around.
alive,
Yeah.
because they need to keep all the villains that are actually good. And think about it, Thanos is gone. Who's the next big threat? They're gonna need some kind of group meetup thing before they get to the big guy, who I think is Doom. The Sinister Six. If you put two of characters that were well received, two villains together, and if they do everybody else as well as they did these two, that's gonna make for a good movie, I think.
Yeah, because Vulture was done very well. I liked his it's very grounded story. He, like, explains why he did what he did, and now Magneto. Wow, I wish.
If only. Dude.
And now why am I saying Magento? Mysterio, dude. I keep thinking Magneto, dude.
You know what would be really cool, but kind of twisted?
What's up?
Is
If
like,
Iceman's added.
this dude. If they switch roles for the audience. So you know how, like, these 10 years we follow all the superheroes, their origin stories, and it leads up to this huge big fight with Thanos, right?
Okay.
What if, like, they take a different route where we start following all the villains, and like how Bryant mentioned in Sinister Six, and we follow each individual villain, and we follow how they all come together, just like how the Avengers came together, and we see their side of the story.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm sorry, kind of how like they did with Venom.
I already know who they could do the best job with if they take your idea, Doc Ock. The way they did in the Sony's Marvel Spider-Man.
Ben,
You make the movie about him, his backstory, until the point where he snaps, and then maybe you hear or you see something swing in at the end, and that's where the movie ends.
Yeah,
that'd be cool, man. I would definitely be behind that. We're just speculating now, Kelsey. So I know you've been off air for a bit.
Because that's why Spider-Man is Marvel's Batman, because all the villains are well done, and you know Marvel because I think you know Marvel villains because of Spider-Man's villains, I think. So
And
you
X-Men.
can do that with Doc Ock and X-Men. You can do that with Doc Ock. You can do that with Sandman. These are all like regular people that have just some shit happen to them, and then they snap.
Some shit.
As long as they don't do like Spider-Man 3.
Oh, let's put in as many bad guys as possible. You like Venom. You like Sandman. You like the Goblin, right?
Another person they start to set up.
What about
Rhino?
He's part of the Sinister Six, so they would have to make up some story for him that's not. I want to run into things.
Either they set him up or they just lump him in as the bigger character.
Yeah.
I think he's usually with Scorpion.
how do you?
They usually.
Go ahead.
You got it.
No, I was just gonna ask, how do you guys feel about the different route they kind of took with, or because you know how like usually they come out with an origin story for a superhero before he gets introduced into like everybody gets put in a movie or whatever. So you have like the Captain America origin, you have Thor and all that stuff like that.
Well, that's the Marvel way. DC likes doing it the other way, so it depends, you know.
But what I'm saying is like they kind of did it different with Mysterio because it was, if you think about it, it kind of was an origin story because we saw him become Mysterio, even though it was a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, because a lot of times when they do origin stories, they tend to be pretty bland because it's like the build up and the person or the superhero that we know, they don't really become that person until like the end of the movie or maybe the next movie.
Yeah.
But in this, it was kind of like an origin story, but it wasn't bland because, I mean, you're bouncing back and forth between Mysterio becoming Mysterio and Spider-Man dealing with all his drama after Endgame. I think that it was a refreshing but new take on kind of like an origin because Mysterio was introduced, but it wasn't introduced in a very boring way. It was very exciting and it was very captivating. And it's like Brian said, like you don't want to see this guy go, even though he's the bad guy.
Well, it was also his backstory was very tied into the MCU. So the people who are watching, they're like, I remember that. Oh, I remember that too. So this all makes sense to them.
Scraps.
A bunch of scraps. So you're like, oh, that's the dude who
Kevin Feige is like, if he is really the guy that's like thinking of all of this stuff, intertwining all this stuff, like that's crazy. Because the guy that was getting yelled at, he's there now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so the people who are watching this MCU stuff are gonna like it more because they're like, oh, I get that reference.
There's more payoff.
There's more payoff. There's always
there.
MCU's been, since they started, has been payoff. Oh, I know them. Oh, I know that's happening. Oh, this is happening because what happened. It's a comic book world now, but with movies, where you can follow any one character and they have their own set of movies. They'll be in the big join up one where you're like, oh shit, there's other characters here, and then you can go back and watch theirs. Same way like if you were reading comics. They're making comic type medium in movies.
I like the way that they've been doing origin stories from. Which one's older, the first Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians.
I think Guardians came out before Ant-Man, but I'm not entirely sure. Let me double check.
Yeah, it did.
So from there, they
confirm.
They basically give you like what's the site where they give you the summary of the origin and then they throw you into the movie. We're like, oh, he's from Earth. Mom died of cancer. That's why he has the thing. A big, I guess, character builder is why he has the mixtape. And they already start the movie's plot instead of his origin plot. In Ant-Man, they summed that up to like 10 minutes, like what, maybe the first third of the movie. Oh, he did all this. That's why he does this. Oh, he has the suit now, and now he's Ant-Man.
Yeah,
I like the condensed instead of having the whole movie. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be a hero. Then there comes the threat that's the exact opposite of the character. I beat him, and now I'm X person.
Yeah, I mean the formula for Marvel seems to be, hey, get a funny person and throw the responsibility at him, and then watch the hilarity ensue as them trying to be a hero, and then they actually get to a point where they need to buckle down and be a hero. And it's been effective. I like watching that stuff, so it's a formula that's been working for me. I mean, Aquaman tried it; it worked for them. They guys just
Aquaman was amazing.
Yeah, Aquaman was great. He was just a funny, I guess not that funny to me, but like a jokester person. Hey, you got to be king of Atlantis, fam. You sure? I don't really want to. Here you go, you're king of Atlantis, and then he does the war thing at the end, which was by far like craziest shit ever with the huge lobster monster thing. Fam, I could watch that over and over.
I think Wonder Woman and I'm not gonna count the original Thor. I don't like any Thor movie, so I can't put him as an example. But Doctor Strange wasn't too much of a funny character until after he became Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah,
because he's pretty serious. And Wonder Woman are the only ones where they actually they put the comedy on the side character and had the serious character just I guess develop with them.
Yeah,
because with Wonder Woman it was young boy over there, Spock. No. What's it? Who is he supposed to be in Star Trek?
Not Picard. I forgot. I know he's the lead guy. I forgot. I don't know if he's Picard or not. He's the other one, I guess.
Chris Pine is his real name, so I'm just going to refer to him as Chris Pine. Okay. They did use him as a comedy device, and they just built her along with him. And Doctor Strange, I mean, no one was really that funny, but they kind of built him a serious doctor guy along with.
They had funny moments, like Like who
Talking
are
about
you?
Captain Kirk. Sorry,
Captain Kirk. Yeah, that's who it was.
Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not Picard. That's fucking Professor X. And then I'm like, whatever. But yeah, just go watch it. It definitely it's earned your money. You'll definitely be entertained. Spider-Man: Far From Home is fantastic.
Let me do this before I forget. Let me update my movies list.
Yeah, you guys need to make sure you're keeping up on that list. Randall and
Tell me what I'm
Kelsey.
already doing, dude.
With what list?
Oh Lord, the 2019 for the end of the year when we start doing our best of.
Oh yeah,
Perfect.
I got Ja Rule in there.
Wait, he actually released new tracks this year, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Hold on. Maybe not. I guess he's on tour. That's what I read. Never mind. Oh man, that's about it. Unless you guys have something to add, I can move on to our creepy future in the life of technology.
Go for it.
Go for it. You know who really went for it? Black Mirror season 5. 3 episodes this season.
Sorry, real quick. Apparently, Ashanti said her and Ja Rule are working on a new album.
Okay, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Okay, yeah. I swear if that ends up on your goddamn list.
At least it came out this year.
Yeah, right?
Wait, Always on Time didn't come out this year?
No, it didn't. Unless you remix it yourself and be like, yeah, I put this on Spotify. This is my favorite track, and it's all it is you at the end in the background going. Yeah. All right, Black Mirror season 5. Only 3 episodes this season. We have Striking Vipers X, Smithereens, and then I forgot their name. Something and something
Rachel,
2.
Jack, and
Macy 2.
Ashley 2. Ashley 2.
Ashley 2.
Off the dome.
Yeah, I mean you're out here, Brian. You know, from the future.
From the future.
We out here.
Yeah, Brian, you hit your mic, man. What do we want to start with? Should we start off with the Miley Cyrus one?
I'm just gonna go and say there was one good episode.
Yeah, season 5 to me was Smithereens by a long shot for me. I don't know if that's episode 2 of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys feel the same way or.
No, yeah, definitely.
Or Randall, did you really, really like Striking Vipers X?
I'm not talking about that. When y'all get on that, you can just pass over.
All right, so I guess we'll just go through the plot point. We don't want to spoil it because there's some really good endings to like, even though they weren't like not all episodes were fantastic. The plot twists and some of the endings were were pretty cool. Except no, I think never mind. The Ashley 2 one was just whatever. Ashley 2 one is basically a pop star who doesn't want to be a pop star because she's being controlled by her manager. Ends up releasing a toy called Ashley 2, which is like your own personal assistant, like if it were Google Home or Alexa or those things. Except that it seems like to have some sort of AI and it moves around and helps you with stuff. Like you can actually have a full conversation with it, not like these.
It's an AI friend, basically.
Yeah. Until you should we spoil? No, I'm not gonna spoil it. Until you find out something more sinister is happening and how these things are being made and what they're doing to the pop star. And then that's why I'm gonna cut there. But Miley Cyrus actually did a pretty good job acting. I think she has the chop. I'm not saying she's Oscar winning, but I think she has the chops to maybe hone in on the acting skills. She probably pull off some good like roles. Especially this one. This is the first time I see her doing any acting, and I thought it was fine. Like it definitely passed. But then again, she was playing a singer. She is a singer.
You've never seen Hannah Montana? She's been acting, dude.
Oh my God, you're right. No, I didn't. I never seen Hannah Montana. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I was waiting for somebody to say it.
I've never seen that show, so this is my first time seeing her doing any sort of theater performance. I guess
her being in that show and then being the lead in this season makes sense because Hannah Montana is kind of like an alias that she has to keep up. Where it's like two different. It's like the Clark Kent bullshit in Superman, where she put the wig on and she's a different character. So it makes sense that she's casted in this movie because it's kind of like the public version of her is the character, and she's not allowed to show her real self. Like, she hides it.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like they drew from that, and like, oh, who does this? Miley Cyrus.
So
So I think the casting was well done because of that.
I agree.
Um,
Then after that, or not after that, the order is Striking Vipers, Smithereens, and Ashley 2, but we're going from my personal worst to best episodes. Next one will be Striking Vipers X, Randall's favorite episode.
No, it's not.
it was written for him, dude.
No,
Yeah.
it was not.
He
So
named Sandra.
the person who plays Falcon in an MCU, Anthony Mackie, has a family. He settles down, has a family, ends up being like what 30-something years old. I forgot they kind of show how old he is and everything like that. But as he was growing up, before he had a family and stuff, and lived with his girl in an apartment, he had a best friend called Carl, I think it was. It wasn't his brother, right? It was like his best friend or something like that.
I would hope it wasn't his brother.
It's no spoilers. So yeah, they would always hang out and shit like that. He settled down while his friend Carl was still out there, spending the big bucks and dating and whatnot and
Fast life.
fast life. And then he came over for his birthday and gave him a new game on what I can assume is the Amazon Stadia or whatever the fuck it is.
That's xCloud, dude. That's why it ran so well.
Oh, nice. And it was a new game called Striking Vipers X. Backstory on that is that as when they were growing up or living together, roommates or whatever, they would play Striking Vipers on an older platform, and it's like a fighting game, and they would just fight each other and play it all night. Anyway, Striking Vipers X is a VR experience, so they get into the VR and start fighting each other, and some weird shit happens between them that could decimate his family forever. Now, I don't want to, again, too early for, I guess it's kind of late for the spoilers, but these are kind of stuff I don't want to spoil, because Black Mirror does a great job of slowly pulling the curtains and showing you the dangers of technology, so yeah. During their playthrough of Striking Vipers X against each other, shit goes crazy. It starts getting darker, not darker, I guess. What's the term? It's like, I don't want to spoil
risque.
it.
I don't
Risque, yeah, getting more and more risque. Damn, I don't know what to say without. Yeah, at this point, there's nothing else to say without spoiling it. I guess I'll just leave it at that. It's basically an episode about relationship and what's okay to do in. It questions what is and what basically. It blurs lines between what loyalty is in a marriage and what is considered, I guess, an affair, not an affair. It brings up that question and plays with it a lot.
I was gonna add something, but then that's basically spoiling.
Got it. That's as much as I can do. That's basically the theme of this episode is what in an age where gaming, I guess, has gotten to this point, what is faithful? If with the available things you have, like the things you have at your disposal, in terms of entertainment and tech, and then that's all I want to say about it. That one's a pretty good episode.
It's interesting.
It's very interesting, yeah. And then my personal favorite, Smithereens, where it's a story about a man who does what seems to be the equivalent of Uber or Lyft. He just takes people to like a taxi service and takes people. Thing is, he is always he takes people from a company called Smithereens and keeps asking them, "Hey, do you work for Smithereens? How is there?" Just sparking conversation until he finds someone who does work there. Then he leads him not to the destination he said, and has him captured. It keeps him hostage. And then from there, it's a downward spiral of, I want to speak to the head of Smithereens, which is played by, if you guys seen that 70s show or the old Spider-Man, he was Topher Grace, Eric Foreman, who, if you guys have played Far Cry 5, he looks just like Joseph Seed in this episode. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically his objective. He wants to speak to the head guy. So he kidnapped an employee, and what a roller coaster of character development. First of all, I even after I said it, I needed to look up this actor's name because
These episodes are only like an hour long, but this episode felt long. It felt like a full feature movie.
It was 70 minutes this episode.
Oh, 10 minutes more than an hour. I mean, it felt like 2 hours went by.
He was played. Andrew Scott is the actor who played the main character here, and if you guys seen Sherlock with
Benedict
Cumberbatch and what's his name? Oh my God, who played Watson in Sherlock?
Robert Downey Jr.
No, that's the American one, the BBC one.
Oh,
Sherlock.
sorry.
That's still not
Martin
Ian
Freeman.
Watson. He named Sherlock
What?
twice. He said
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr.
That's
but
why.
he's-
That's why I went to because I've never watched Sherlock.
You would fucking love You haven't seen the BBC one?
No.
Oh
it's-
my! You would love that first two
It's
seasons.
actually good. It's not the Robert Downey Jr. one.
I enjoy the Robert Downey Jr. one.
I do
might be
too.
I
Jude
personally like
Law
it.
was Watson, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the Robert Downey Jr. one. He plays him very well as like a comical character
Yes. I agree.
because Sherlock is supposed to be one of those guys who is insanely smart and can be funny, but most of the time is serious.
Mm-hmm. Well, they took that approach in the BBC one. Dude, you watch the first season. And if you don't, for some reason, hate it, they're all an hour and a half episodes. Like, they're almost like kind of mini films, each episode. But watch that first season. If you hate it, then don't bother watching it. But I think you would fucking love it.
He's not gonna hate it. Look at him. He already loves it.
He already loves it. He's watching it right now. Anyway, but Martin Freeman is the person who plays Watson in the Sherlock ones. But the villain in Sherlock is one of them is Moriarty. Well, Moriarty is played by Andrew Scott, which is the main actor in this one. And again, we're not gonna spoil it, but what a phenomenal performance by him! Like, he made it like, what other episodes in this season? He's like, this is the episode you got to watch. That man did a fantastic job. Even the kid the person he took
Intern.
hostage, the intern or whatever. Well, we can't say that's a spoiler, but
Fuck.
yeah, that's part of the plot. The guy who he kidnaps is also done very well as an actor. That man definitely feels scared. Look, he portrays that he's scared. Yeah, the episode is what a roller coaster. I think that is the must-watch episode of this season. Just like San Junipero was the must-watch for season 3, I think it was. Like, Smithereens is definitely like high up. Like, I was considering adding that to my best of movies this year. Like, I was like, should I add it on there? Because it's not really a movie, but it needs the stress levels in it is through and through. As the shit starts rolling, it doesn't let up. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
It's great stuff. What about you, Randall? You gonna get something to add to Smithereens, or just the season in general? What do you think of the? It seems like they didn't. With only 3 episodes, I thought they were all 3 of them were just gonna be bangers.
I think you covered everything on Smithereens. It was good. It was very intense.
Yeah. All right. I think we're done with the consumptions, right?
With that attitude.
We should
Oh, I
wrap
still
up by
have
saying
one
that
more thing. Oh, go
the
ahead.
soundtrack for Stranger Things was pretty good.
Yeah, man.
I gotta be honest. I was waiting to look at the document and see soundtrack, like Stranger Things soundtrack, under one of you guys' thing.
I need to download it.
It's on Spotify. You have Apple Music, right?
Yes.
They have it as a collection now. Like, they have Stranger Things season 3 or soundtrack. You can just listen to the whole thing.
I took a personality quiz to see which of the cast of that show I was, and I'm 11 apparently.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Well, I don't have to take it. I know I'm Hopper, so
No, you're probably Will. You look like a Will.
I just want to play D&D with my bros. You know? Oh my gosh, what am I doing?
The last thing on your list, you said you had something.
Oh, I
on
saw
your list.
Shovel Knight, the DLC. Specter of Torment. Started playing it. Actually, by this time, the latest episode is already up on my YouTube channel. Started playing it, started recording it, not streaming it, because I think that's what I did for the previous games. I just recorded it and put it up. Playing as Specter Knight was not what I thought it was going to be. The one thing that I just, for some reason, I kind of get used to doing is, how can I explain this? So, you don't crouch anymore like Shovel Knight does. Yeah, I mean, he kind of moves down, but it's not as low as Shovel Knight would normally do. He doesn't, unless I'm like halfway through it. To do upward slashes and downward slashes, you do not do commands for that. It's all about positioning. So if you want to upward slash an enemy, you need to be underneath of him. And he needs to be nearby. And it'll give you an icon that says, oh, you can slash this. Granted, that's used for platforming later on in the levels. Some crazy ass platforming. But that right there, I thought was like, kind of threw me off of like a, because it's not as responsive as playing a Shovel Knight at that point. Because at that point, I'm waiting for the game to realize I want to up slash or down slash. It's like a diagonal cut, like if you're playing Zero in Marvel vs. Capcom with the diagonal lightning thing he's doing. So I thought that was a bummer, especially since I have the attack up and attack down button open. Like Shovel Knight could do his little shovel thing and bounce off of people on command. I don't know why they chose to do that in this. Maybe
so
because
if you do down, nothing happens.
Nothing. You just have the same forward slash with his scythe. So if you want to do the upward slash, you have to be near an enemy or an item, not an item, but like a thing in the level that lets you do that, and then you'll be able to do it.
Do you know if there's an option to turn that off?
I think that's by design. I can look in the options just in case. I haven't. But that's my one gripe with it. It just doesn't handle as beautifully as playing a Shovel Knight or Plague Knight. Because it's all of it's responsive for those other two characters. I don't have to worry about the game to let me know when I'm able to do what I want to do. If I want to slash up, I better be able to hit up and slash. Not, hey, now that I'm positioned here, I can slash upwards. I think there's one or two times I died playing it because it registered the wrong person that I wanted to hit, and I fell down and died. Or like the wall running feels a little sluggish too, because it seems like you're going up quickly, and it quickly slows down, and sometimes you'll jump off instead of flipping over. It's weird. It doesn't feel as responsive as playing like Shovel Knight or Plague Knight. But besides that, once you get used to the weird controls and you get used, like you'll still end up messing up a bit, because if you panic, you'll hit a button and then you'll jump off a wall and not be able to come back because you can't upslash because there's nothing around you can upslash with. So you just fall to your death, and there goes a bunch of cash you could use.
Seen that a lot.
Up and B.
Yeah. You can use the gold that you get in the game this time to upgrade weapons you find, like weapons that they give you in the game. So you can act like one of them is a zoning one for Brian. Like you can throw a scythe that'll trace the. Do you know the sun? Is it the sun? There's an enemy in Mario. Yeah, that you throw it and it just circles on whatever platform it's on. It's that, but a scythe. And when you upgrade it, you get a bigger scythe. 2 of them, I think it is, and it goes further, and it can pick up items. So if you died in a place where like shit, I might be able to reach that and come back alive, you can throw that and it'll take it. There's another one where you can.
If you do it on a flat surface that doesn't have like a wraparound, do they just bounce back?
No, it goes around underneath.
No, but if it can't,
that's not what.
There's no platform that doesn't have an underpart, or like any part of the level that doesn't have an underpart.
Then it just keeps going down. If it hits land, and there's nothing underneath, that's impossible, Ryan.
No, like let's say you're in like a container shape where it's like this, like you just drop down and you'd have to jump to get out.
Okay.
Okay, no, it would still wrap around.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What you're saying is physically impossible. You're saying if it lands on solid matter, does it wrap around solid matter? Yes, it's gonna wrap around solid matter.
I'm trying to think of a situation where there's no underpart. So let's say it's just the level is a centerpiece that reaches all the way down, like off stage. Would it still try to go around, or would it come back?
I haven't tried it, but I think it loops at the bottom of the screen. Like it treats the bottom of the screen as the physical thing. I think I haven't had. I don't think I've run across that scenario. And there's another site that's another zoning one that just goes straight, or not straight. I think it bounces off of walls. So if you got the mathematics, you can hit kids and pick up like like bags of cash and like jewels and stuff with like if you know the geometry.
I mean, you've seen Smash Brawl, so you know I know the geometry.
Oh yeah, and Kelsey just makes geometry, so that's just also fantastic.
Yeah,
What?
I created in games where it's not possible.
Yeah, one of the other weapons is you heal yourself, and when you upgrade that, you just heal more. You get more health. I'm missing another. There's like a claw attack that you can upgrade, and it gets bigger. Like
Command grab?
no, it's like a huge slash. There's armors added to it. You can skateboard with your scythe. Because there's railings now, so you use your scythe to skateboard, and if you hit up or down while you're in the air, he does fucking tricks. There's armor that lets you like grind on almost anything. The armor I bought was if you like Mega Man, if you hold the attack button, he charges up and then he lets go of like a stronger move.
Is it a projectile or just a swing?
Just a bigger and a larger swing that has more damage. Which also affects the slashes, the diagonal slashes. So if you're holding the button and you're max charge, and then you let go to do a diagonal slash, it does more damage, and you see like your after like effect like zero in Marvel.
Do you go further?
Yes, I think so. But I'm not entirely sure on that because it's when I'm doing it, I'm not seeing how far I've gone. I'm trying to not die because this shit moves really quickly.
Take it to the lab. See if it's plus on block.
Run the numbers. Report back next week.
Crow's asking what we're talking about. We're talking about Shovel Knight, the latest DLC. It's really cool. And that's about it. I took down about 5 nights already. I'm going to see if anything changes. Besides that, the upgrades look cool. Oh my god. I think this is the episode that came out today is my first attempt at doing the tower. So in the main hub, I made a joke on the video that it's Alphonse. It's just a suit of armor with no head, and it's an empty suit of armor. And he's like, oh, you wanted to play this game where if you can make it to the top without dying? So you say yes. A platform lowers down, right? And then he's like, all right, get on it. He get on top of it, and he summons like where he's sitting, a yellow like electricity thing where if you touch it, you die. So now, as that's rising, you're jumping, trying to get to the top of the tower, which is procedurally generated. It seems like it's procedurally generated, or it has like a shitload of different templates, and it rearranges it every time you start. So it's platforming all the way up as fast as you can, and there's enemies, so you can choose to waste the time killing them if they're giving you trouble to jumping between shit, or you can use them to get up higher because you can do the diagonal jump if you position yourself correctly with the jump. Dude, I got like maybe halfway. I think the furthest I've gotten is like halfway, and you fall down. And it's one of those things where you like, let me try one more time. And I think I spent an entire episode just the fucking tower, trying to get to it. And once I finish the game, I'm gonna go back and see if I can just finish the tower, see what I get. But it's really just that part. I'm like, this is Mario heaven. Like it's trying to get just platforming all the way to the top without the thing catching up and killing you. And I just want to see if he gives me something cool because he looks cool. It's just a huge suit, like a huge dude who used to be a huge dude, I guess. Just sitting on his chair and he doesn't have like the helmet on. He just looks cool.
I wanted to be Al.
What else is cool about it? There's a lot of just cool things on there, man. Like it's more Shovel Knight, a little bit more lore about the Specter. Specter's story seems pretty sad. He had a friend of his that he was there with. I don't know the whole thing yet because I'm only halfway, so we'll see what happens. It seems like I like what they're doing with this DLC. I hope they continue it because they're giving all the knights that you're playing with some backstory that's actually worth like reading and listening to. I guess reading because there's no.
Tinker Knight.
Tinker Knight's the big dude with the hook. No,
he's the one with the mech at the end.
Oh, okay.
He's a little guy that gets into the big robot.
Yeah.
They need to just add all these characters to Smash. I'm trying to main Plague Knight.
Yeah, like I don't know how there's not like they said they're gonna add that fighting mode, but we'll see how that goes. But that's all I got, man. Shovel Knight, the DLC is fantastic. I don't have to. This is my report card for it. Like I don't have to. I'm not gonna tell you if it's good at the end of it because I know it's great. I played the first game, the second DLC, now this DLC, and it's just great. Those guys at Yacht Club Games are just great shit, dude. And that's about it for consumption now, for real. I don't think I have anything else I did.
How's Joker playing out in Smash?
You main him, Anthony. Why aren't you answering?
I don't main Joker. Like I thought that was a question for you. Was that for him or me?
It was for you.
No, I don't. I have yet to play him. I've seen him
made
play,
him.
and they were. I think it was Brian and Johan and was Javi here playing him.
Yeah.
They were playing in my living room, but I just watched them. I have yet to hit a button with Joker.
You made him. Don't even
But
front on me.
but Banjo, on the other hand, we'll see.
It's not coming out till, I think, winter or next year.
I just want to be faster than everyone with
Kazooie.
my Kazooie. Yeah, I just want to run around.
I just want to taunt with him in here. I might main the Dragon Quest hero because it looks like an adequate version of Robin, so...
Oh, okay. What was I gonna say? I guess more fighting news. They've already shown off. What is it, Sindel? I think it was for Mortal Kombat
yeah.
11.
Ed Boon put a picture out of what Sindel looks like, and she looks cool, but I can't play her yet, so I don't... Bless you.
Damn, he getting sick.
People are thinking she's next, but he's also shown a tease of just Nightwolf's boot. So what people are also thinking is that they're gonna do what they did for Injustice DLC and have like a cinematic trailer showing them all in
In the preview?
in the video.
Okay.
Yeah. People think. It hasn't been known to say anything.
Okay. I think that's it then, people. Oh, let's go for the news then. Oh, we already had 2 hours. Shit. Let's run through the news real quick. Yes, Google Stadia has more details.
It'll
be quick.
Too late, if you ask me.
It's gonna be quick. It didn't add that much stuff. Basically to confirm, hey, if you have a Stadia Pro subscription, when you rejoin, you're gonna retain all the progress you had on those games that they give you. So you're not gonna just delete your saves. You can still make game purchases and resume the progress if you decided to stop your Stadia Pro subscription. So let's say they add Borderlands 1 and 2, I guess, to Google Stadia Pro. Then you get the copy. You played a bunch of it, and then they probably wrote something in the fucking doc. Oh, they didn't. Okay. Now you guys talk about Dingle Dow. I still gotta play Crash Team Racing. Can we talk about the Battle Pass they released for Crash Team Racing? I haven't played it yet, but that's a good thing, dude. Crash Team Racing's the shit. What else? The Stadia controller uses the BLE for setup normally to connect to the Wi-Fi directly to their servers when using Wi-Fi. But if you want, or if you can't connect to it directly, you can just use the Stadia controller as a regular USB gamepad through USB. That connects from USB-C on the port on the Stadia, and then you just use a regular USB, I guess, on your computer. And that can count as a gamepad on your computer.
They said it should work for other platforms.
Yeah.
Which is funny how they waited for me to buy a new Xbox controller for them to tell me this information.
Yep. That's why you gotta wait, Brian.
No, see, this is the thing. I have to make a purchase so that someone can find out about something in relation to what I bought very
got
soon.
it. Thank
I
you.
have to buy a Switch and Octopath. Why is he taking a selfie behind you?
Taking a selfie?
He just went,
He's trying to get better
Jesus.
signal.
oh, you have to hold it close to your face.
Okay. Another thing is that the Stadia will support up to 4 controllers per account. So if you're doing local multiplayer, it'll go to that account. So it seems like you're playing on one system, I guess. That's straightforward stuff. Right now they don't have anything on VR. And it's confirmed that once you purchase a game through their service, you own the right to play it. So if someone brings down, like if you buy a game and then after the PT incident where you had the PT demo and then after that they brought it down and no one was able to download it again, if you have it attached to your license, you're still able to play it.
That's nice.
Well, that's
So-
how it was for PT. If you already claimed the game, you still had access to it.
Exactly.
So that's why people were selling their accounts with their PS4. But like
That's-
a new person couldn't play it because they didn't claim it.
Exactly. That's exactly. Stadia's letting everybody know that's the case here. Like you're not going to be like losing game keys because of whatever reason. Like a publisher stops selling the game or something. Like what happened with Telltale. With the Walking Dead stuff, like you can't buy those games anymore. If I'm not mistaken. And then what is this? Kelsey, I think the rest is you added.
Yeah.
So hit me with what's
Probably.
this?
So Final Fantasy 14 had a crossover with Final Fantasy 15, which I don't really know much about. They don't really describe it in here, but they talked about possibly doing, or with the they would like to do a crossover with Blizzard's Diablo
What?
or something from World of Warcraft. And
That would be
then
really cool.
if Blizzard for whatever reason came to them and was like, "Hey, we want you to take the reins and develop Diablo 4," they would drop literally everything and start working on it.
Ooh,
But
what would what would that
that's-
look like?
That's
An
from
MMO?
It'd probably be good.
That's from an interview from the head guy that works on Final Fantasy, and he said that as a joke.
Oh, it wasn't a joke.
He's
I mean,
saying-
it wasn't
but then-
serious.
and then he clears up and says, but he, I think he said he'd be interested in working on it if that were the case, but he wouldn't leave to go there. He was like complimenting Blizzard for Diablo, saying that he spent so much time as a kid or whatever playing that game and stuff like that.
Like many others, dude.
Gotcha.
All right. I'd be down to see what they could. It'd probably be an MMO, right? If that team takes a hold of Diablo, it'd be like instances, like live towns and stuff with a bunch of other people. It'd be an MMO with Diablo aesthetic, right? Or maybe their mechanics too,
I mean,
with their
that's,
loot.
they kind of already have that with World of Warcraft. I don't know that they would.
Just rehash that.
I mean, I guess you could rehash, Diablo into
an MMO type
if
of
you
thing.
had like those classes specifically, but I don't know.
Hmm.
It'd be interesting to see. I'd
Yeah,
be
same.
curious to see how it works.
Same here. I would like to see what they would come up with, especially now that the turnaround they made with Final Fantasy 15.
So speaking of MMOs, I'm gonna skip to number 4 for Blue Protocol.
Oh yeah, I
So
saw
Blue
the trailer
Protocol, it looks awesome. It's
Yes.
an MMO
for this. Here you go, Randall, so you can take a look
action
at the
RPG
visuals.
thing.
It's an anime-ish thing.
It looks like Sword Art Online, but you get to play it.
Yeah, the art style looks very cool. I didn't see enough of the combat to really say about the combat, but it looks like it's action oriented instead of like mostly turn based. Like you have to move around to dodge shit. It's not like auto aim everything.
Yeah,
Like it's
they only have like a 10 second thing on the combat,
yeah,
but it does look like you actually get to like,
move around and do shit like
yeah, you're not just
casting fire,
yeah,
and
it's not auto attacking. You're not just pressing buttons and having it cast spells. You actually get to do. It looks, at least from the looks of it, it looks like you get to do actual combos, like if you were playing God of War.
If it's plays like Vindictus or Dragon's Nest without the instance-based dungeons, like if it's free roaming, I'm all in if it's no subscription because it looks pretty.
yeah, it looks very good. The art style's done really well. I don't know if you were able to see it. You played it. What do you think? You like the art style, or do you not care for that anime stuff?
Yeah, I'm all about anime.
You do, so you do like it?
Yeah.
Okay. The more okay, I'm gonna step over you here. I guess this is the Last of Us 2 stuff. I know Randall
Yeah.
wanted to hear about it. That there's more rumors that's coming out in February, and there's gonna be about Randall. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm
He
trying
just
to
got
contain
hard.
myself.
Don't worry about it.
Move the table back a bit. You just shook the whole thing.
I shook the whole what?
Yeah, you did that. Hit this. Everything shook. Move the table back.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna be all right, man.
I'm gonna sweat. I'm not gonna incriminate myself on here, dude. Goodness, it's just coming out in February, Randall. All right. You still have games to play now, and you're not doing it. All right.
Ooh,
Did you platinum God of War yet?
Ooh.
I'm not a trophy insert word.
Oh, did you finish Metal Gear?
No, I told you about that.
I don't care what you told me. Did you finish it?
I'm what's the term?
You're Kelseying it. That's what you're doing.
No,
You're doing
I am
it.
not Kelsey. Why would you even say some junk like that?
Because
Finish Legend of Dragoon?
did you finish Legend of Dragoon?
I
Randall?
finished games.
Ooh.
What games? Name one.
Name one game you finished.
Last of Us.
You haven't finished that. The hell? I don't see a platinum, Randall. That's completely finished.
Man, get out of here. That is not how the game was designed. That you got to get every trophy.
Anyway,
I platinumed.
look at Kelsey clicking everywhere on the fucking dock.
I'm ADHD, man.
I know.
have
I
to-
do the same thing.
fidget.
I click a lot too.
I platinumed Final Fantasy X.
Oh
I
wow!
also I even platinumed The Last Remnant. I beat it and got
Why the
everything.
fuck
That's
would
a
you?
minus. That's not.
Yeah,
something
you lose
brag
points for
about.
that. Anyway, go ahead. You can keep going.
I hear they're making a remake, or they're remaking it for the PC to
Oh
actually
no,
be better.
these fucking guys did put the soundtrack in the news.
What?
Someone put soundtrack in your Stranger Things season 3 soundtrack. Someone put in the news. So you guys can fuck off, I guess.
Material Girl, man.
Last thing is the Warframe Tenno cinematic.
Oh my god, yeah,
Cinematic
that's...
from TennoCom.
Yeah, that's really cool. Randy, you
They
might
have,
like
like-
this.
I saw it.
They have
Go ahead. Kelsey, go ahead.
I was waiting for Randall to.
I was waiting for you.
Randall's tried and then he stopped and he could not compute after that. He was just like,
Yeah,
so that,
if I
they
say
have a
something-
lot of.
you guys are fucking unbelievable, dude.
It's nice to be on the outside of this.
They seem to have a lot of new cinematics coming out for. I don't know if it's like multiple updates or if they're just like showing bits and pieces of a massive update that's coming out. But there seems to be a lot of different directions that they're going with this, and no real. There's nothing substantial that shows like what's actually going on.
They showed gameplay of I think it's called Emporium, something like that. The space battles, and then there's a new open world. I think that's all coming at the same time.
Yeah, so maybe it's just because I haven't seen all of the trailers, but they're from the looks of it, they're coming out with a lot of different stuff, or maybe it's just a massive update that has a lot of new information. Because one of the trailers, I don't even know what the fuck was going on.
What's up, Kelsey? Or Randall?
Wasn't there a video?
You said you already saw it. I was going to play for you to see it.
It's
No, I didn't see it.
It's just the cinematic they showed from.
You're on
TennoCom.
record saying that it's that
Can
I
you
saw
please
it.
just click on it, please?
Hey, I'm gonna play this trailer. I already saw it. It's on here, Randall.
No,
Like, it's on...
when I was saying I already saw it, I said I saw like what he's talking about. I didn't see this specific trailer.
For fuck's sake.
This thing's like 6 minutes long, so it's probably gonna be something you want to just watch on your own.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
But-
there's action that you might enjoy because it's like one shot stuff. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's really cool. They show off like all the Tenno stuff, all the Tennos doing a bunch of stuff, and then, but it's like I think it's like a past life. I don't think it's.
It is.
I'm pretty sure it's just a memory.
It's their
and-
way. It's their way of like visually showing the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, here's your 3 that you can start with, and it's like that lady sitting in front of them, and I guess she picks one or something. It's just really cool to watch.
You know, but they don't really reveal much from this other than those dudes are taking over and she's trying to get them to help. And then there's another video where they're like, it's like the Stranger Things Twilight Zone of shit going on. Like I don't even really know what's going on in the video. And then there was gameplay from the Imperium or whatever trailer.
Yeah, the one where they're playing in space and it's like
Yeah.
space battles with ships.
You know, but I'm like I've always liked Warframe, but it was just a grind fest at a certain point where you're literally doing the same shit over and over again. And I also played back when it was a pay to win game. And I know it's changed quite a bit since then, but I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, they've been supporting that game for years, so I mean that's their bread and butter at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nice to see a company that like actually releases updated content. I mean, it's similar to Path of Exile. Like you have a company that really cares about their game and their player base, and they listen to complaints and they try and come out with new content and keep people interested and get them, you know, to bring in more people. So, I mean, I downloaded it again the other day because I saw those trailers and I was like, well, maybe I'll jump back in and try it out.
Yeah, I still have to install Path of Exile and like Warframe. Every time I see it, I'm like, man, I gotta play this again, and I just never do.
I was gonna give it a chance, and they wanted me to grind for a mode to unlock. And then when I unlock that mode, I have 3 characters. I need to grind to unlock the other characters to play in that mode.
What game?
In Warframe,
Oh.
they added like a fighting game mode that I had to grind to get the mode, and then they gave me 3 characters, and you have to grind to unlock other characters to play in that mode.
I mean, the gameplay loop in that is just if you don't love it, you're gonna burn out of it.
I like the gameplay part of it, but I'm not trying to sit there for 3 days to unlock something that shouldn't take 3 days for me to unlock.
All right. I think that's it, guys, right? Last of Us, Stranger Things soundtrack. All right.
What was the Last of Us stuff?
People, there's rumors. This is going to be on February. This is when it's going to release. And there's going to be 4 different editions.
It was gonna be what?
4 different editions, like pre-order editions. Like, get Joel's sweat and get Ellie's jacket or some shit. Like, shit that doesn't matter
Joel's
to me.
corpse.
Shit that's beyond the game that I don't care. You know? I appreciate you guys all want to do your pre-order. Hey, I got Ellie's hair or whatever the hell it is. Like, I'm here for the game. That game better wants me. Like, when I play that game, I want to have the jacket. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Southside Serpents, all right?
They're not in the South anymore.
I'm so tired of pre-ordering games.
But they're still serpents.
It's so annoying, mostly because the last several games that I've pre-ordered have just been a huge disappointment.
When's the last time I pre-ordered a game?
Did you pre-order Division 2?
No, I didn't. I waited for that. And then once I heard that it was awesome, I downloaded it, and I'm like, yeah, it's awesome.
You know what the last game I pre-ordered was with my money?
What?
I was
Street
waiting
Fighter
for it.
5.
Street Fighter 5? It was? Oh my god. Brian, tell me the hours you're putting in
And
this week.
Sagat.
And you pre-ordered Sagat too. That's right.
Even though it wasn't a pre-order for the whole
thing. He could have just waited and just bought Sagat. No, I'm getting all of it for Sagat and doesn't play the game.
That was the perfect example of being highly ambitious. Like, his brain didn't calculate, I only want one character, but because he, in the list of characters, he heard one name, he was like, just get it all.
Give me it. He was literally the meme of Fry saying, shut up and take my money.
I did the same thing with Dragon Ball Fighter Season 1 because they announced Broly, but I mean, that kind of didn't pay out because I bought another Goku and then another Goku, but with Vegeta together, and then Vegeta too.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, the DLC hasn't been great for Dragon Ball.
I feel like that game shouldn't even be called Dragon Ball.
No, unfortunately. Even though I joked about getting Gokus, they over fucking did it. Like, every time Brian
and he
tells me
doesn't
they're
even play.
announcing a Goku, they already have a lot. Like, what?
There's already 6. We need to
Yeah,
add 9
like-
more.
Like, it's
There's
unfortunate.
the SSJ Goku, there's Blue Goku, there's Base Goku, there's Kid Goku, then you have Vegeta, which is half of him, Gogeta, which is another half of him. Die.
Out of
Say
all those
Black,
characters,
Goku
Black
Black.
Goku? Yeah.
Goku
And then
Black,
Bardock, which is just basically his dad, but he looks exactly like Goku.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Basically his Goku.
hmm With all those other
Oh,
fucking
Anthony's
cool
fault.
ass characters, dude. Yeah, they took my fucking wish list to
And-
heart. They're like, we'll
and
give
they're
him
still
all the
doing it.
Gokus.
And they're still doing it because they're releasing the Dragon Ball Kakarot game. All about Goku for you.
Oh, that's just the story of the main. That's just the same game. Like, you know how Budokai does that story mode stuff? All right, Brian.
I just
And
picture
Tiger
Brian working there and it's like, if y'all release another Goku, I'm quitting.
Well, he quit then because they kept giving Goku. So
All you're going to hear is just a container with a liquid, and you hear just being poured out, and like, you guys smell that gasoline? And then the building just gets fucking burned down.
Brian's just incriminating himself again. Notable
Yeah, but
releases for the week: The Messenger DLC, Picnic Panic, comes out this week. Can't fucking wait.
Gross.
Shut up. Have you played The Messenger?
What is that?
You're gross. Streets of Rogue coming out this week.
Is that
It-
on the Switch?
The Streets of Rogue? I think it might be. So, and it looks like
No,
the game
I'm
you want.
The
Messenger?
Messenger.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
so.
Okay. Because I actually have one now, so I have to go back and find out what games actually are on the Switch.
The Messenger's a good
so
fit
I can play them.
because it's a classic looking game. It's like 8-bit slash. Oh, I'm not gonna spoil it for him.
Fire Emblem comes out soon on the Switch if you want to buy it and start it, and then restart the game when a character dies, when you can just click the option where nobody perma does.
No.
Movies this week. We have Crawl, which is the movie about attacking alligators of some sort. I don't know what the hell's going on in that trailer.
It's about an alligator attack in Florida.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
It's
up.
a documentary.
You might
No,
as
it's
well.
like a horror movie,
No, I know.
but with alligators. It's weird. Stuber. This is the movie with Batista and the comedian.
Is Is that the one where he kidnaps him in a taxi cab or whatever?
Yeah, he uses his Uber as his like transportation to
I think it's
to like
hilarious.
yeah, it looks pretty funny. I don't know if it's go to the theater funny, but yeah, The Art of Self-Defense is supposed to be a comedy of a guy learning self-defense, I think, or like fighting or some shit.
Who's in that?
The guy who played Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
Oh.
Jesse Eisenberg.
I'm tired of him.
Imogen Poots is in it.
Oh, she's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the other people, but it's supposed to be funny, so we'll see. I think it released in festivals before, and then now it's hitting the theaters. And The Farewell, which is a Asian movie where the family of an older woman and all her like grandkids and stuff are okay. Let me just start. The grandmother has like cancer, or something like fatal, like terminal cancer, but the family chooses not to tell her.
What?
Let me double check because I saw the trailer and that's a headstrong Chinese American woman returns to China when her beloved grandmother is given a terminal diagnosis. Billy, which is one of the characters on here, struggles with her family's decision to keep grandma in the dark about her own illness as they all stage an impromptu wedding to see grandma one last time before she passes.
I mean, there's been a lot of theories on, you know, your attitude changes how your whatever is affecting you actually affects you, like cancer and being sick and whatever. And they've actually got statistics that say that like 40% of people who have a positive attitude, or 40% of, hang on, I'm trying to think how the statistics work. Basically, if you have a positive attitude,
Mm-hmm.
there's a higher chance of you getting over whatever it is that you have than
Whatever
if you
illness.
don't. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gotta get your mind right, dude.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I didn't know that. And then for music this week, we have Banks releasing her third album. I think it's just 3. That's why it's called 3. Big Crit releasing Crit Is Here. I think it's his second album this year because the first one, he had one earlier this year in January, which I think was like an EP or maybe an album. He's releasing a second project now. And Ed Sheeran dropping his collaborations project, which is just a bunch of tracks with him and featuring some other person on the track. That's why it's collaborations project. And that is it, people. What do you guys have going on this week? Randall.
I'm working.
Right?
Got my side stuff.
I got my side stuff. I'm working.
on my still working on my my little movie thing.
Yeah. Oh, on the bright
Wanna
side,
know
Randall, we have the intro is in the podcast. We opened it up with it, so it's in full force. If you guys enjoyed the intro, it's a collaboration between Randall Verde here and my brother Brian.
Ooh.
There you go. I need some sort of fucking response. And if you're not gonna say anything, yo, Kelsey, what you doing this week?
I mean, when I get ready to say stuff, you got jokers like that.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, let's back this up. The Jokers
Back
only
that ass.
chime in after like 42 minutes of him you going
Exactly.
you know, waiting to think about what you're doing. What is it? What are you waiting for? Just start talking. You literally spend like 30 seconds or more just thinking about nothing with dead air going into the microphone.
That's what I'm doing. I'm thinking about nothing.
It sounds like it.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can hear me thinking.
Yeah, I can
Yes.
hear you thinking.
Okay.
We can hear you sitting there going,
How am I gonna duck Brian again in Dragon Ball?
Maybe one day we'll get that first to 10 on video.
I'm still waiting to see if Randall's gonna actually respond.
No, you already told me.
All right, Kelsey, go. Like it's his first time on this podcast, dude. For fuck's
I don't
sake.
understand why you always pick me first anyway.
Man, we're in episode 54. You know what happens at the end of this fucking podcast? We ask what's happening this week. So by the time you sit down, you should know what you're doing by the end of this week, dude.
I'm not thinking about that.
Kelsey, what are you doing this week, dude?
So I built Shannon another jewelry box. Probably gonna hang that up. I'm gonna try and get over there and get my car fixed up and at least towed over here. Other than that, I'm not really sure.
Okay. Brian, you doing anything? You streaming anything? You recording anything? You making music or anything?
I have to pick up files for a movie. I have to still edit because, God forbid we get things done early.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how long it's going to take if there's actually anything to edit. If it's going to take more time than I think, I'm not going to probably be streaming until that's done. If it's literally change one thing and waste my time going all the way over there to get the files, then I'd probably just stream something, music or Dragon Ball or I don't know, whatever
Gotcha.
comes to mind first.
You know you have access to Moonlighter.
He's got access to a lot of games.
Yeah, like you can play Moonlighter. You can start selling some shit, Brian.
Damn. I'm trying to think if there's anything narrative wise that I've started that I need to beat. Because most of the games that I've started, they were like that. I just get turned off immediately. I just don't care anymore. Like, We Happy Few. It was cute for the beginning. I stopped caring about the character's story. I'm like, okay, this just feels like a Walgreens Bioshock.
Okay.
I stopped caring about Moonlighter after I got to like the third or fourth dungeon
Gotcha.
because it's the same thing. It's
just-
not like it's adding anything new. You go down, you fight a bunch of crap, hope to God that you survive,
Yeah.
and then you bail out and sell whatever it is that you have to upgrade your stuff to go down and beat up a bunch of crap, hope you survive, and then go back up and sell.
Yeah, that's the loop.
So I don't know. I'll either do Dragon Ball and try to narrow down my 3 team options, just one to say I main it. I might do Hades just because that game's just beautiful. It sounds pretty. It's a really fun cycle. I can't wait for the game to be finished.
Okay.
Between those two, maybe I'll play Siege and have someone carry me. I don't know. We'll see. Vampire's on Xbox Game Pass, no sponsor, so I might play that.
That's true.
I don't know. We'll see. Just 7 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday through Friday. If I'm not on at that time, just assume I'm not streaming that day.
Okay. Let's see. What am I doing? Shovel Knight episode's going up this week. I'll probably just be doing that this week, or maybe to just keep playing more Black Ops and Battlefield on stream because that's the only thing I seem to play on stream nowadays. I don't have anything new, any new games.
Borderlands DLC we still have to finish, and there's Risk of Rain.
Oh my
Bitch.
god, Risk of Rain! I streamed Risk of Rain already.
Do you remember when it shat on me?
Oh my god, yeah, we gotta do that. We still have to finish your thing, so we can unlock that last
Is that
guy
the
for
clip
you.
I took?
Yeah,
Mhm.
when he's like about to get into the fucking portal, and then I guess why do they keep you active while you already hit E? Like they're
I
like,
just
oh, you can
wanna
still
know-
die.
I just want to know how I was living there with the greatest of ease, and as soon as I hit E, everybody fucking knows Virgil Infinites.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna be streaming, but go for it.
Sorry, I meant to tell you at the beginning of the podcast when we were shooting off fireworks. So we started shooting them off, and I got a different box this year that actually like shoots shit into the air instead of just those little like
Dazzlers
ones
that are on the
kinda
ground.
It's a
spray
grenade
stuff.
launcher.
So, the oldest daughter, I shot it off for my neighbor's daughters, and the oldest daughter is like wouldn't come sit out there because she's like, I don't want to get hit by fireworks, and I'm like, you're not gonna get hit by
What?
fireworks. So she's like sitting in the garage, and then all the rest of us are sitting down at the end of the driveway, and I go out there and I like light stuff off. Get the first couple, you can find this box, and it says it's got like 8 shots in it. I'm like, okay. And so it starts off, and it's just like a shower thing, and then it shoots one up into the air. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I look up, and I look back at the thing, waiting for the next shot to go off, and I'm like, wait, where's the box? And then it had fallen over, and it was pointing towards me, and
Oh
the thing
my-
whooshed by my, like it was like right here, and just shot a firework right by my face and exploded like 10 feet behind me.
Oh my god, Kelsey.
That was IRL Ninja Gaiden on hard.
Yeah, dude. He saw and fucking heard that shit fly by him.
And so then the daughter gets like really upset. She's like, Brian! And I'm like, what? That was awesome. She's like, no, I told you I didn't want to get hit by fireworks. I said, did you get hit by fireworks? No? Well, then what are you complaining about?
Dude, you could have lost your head there. You know that, right?
Probably. It'd have been amazing.
Jesus. You would have been the statistic on July 4th. Like, another guy just fucking up with fireworks.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
It
though.
was fun.
How did it sound? It sounded like something like a. What did it sound like flying by your ear? What is
It's
it like?
just, just like,
It
just
probably
like,
sounded like drowned out from the blood rushing out of his ear. Sounded like I was underwater.
Oh shit! All right, people, that was it. ADLR Podcast, episode 54. All right. If you enjoyed the show, you can go to
enjoy the
Patreon.
shit show.
Yeah, let's say shit show. Brian already started licking whatever over there. He's over there playing Striking Vipers X. You can go to patreon.com/ADLRplays. Support the show. You can go to extralife.adlrplays.com to donate to charity, with the proceeds going to the Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. And last but not least, if you want a topic for us to discuss on future episodes, you can go to topics.adlrplays.com. And we'll probably talk about it unless there's something weird submitted. That's about it, guys. I love you guys. I'll watch you guys I'll watch you next week? Whoa. You can listen for the next episode next week. Live on twitch.tv/ADLR. 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern. Randall, 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern, Randall. You got it?
On what day?
On Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern.
At what time?
8 p.m. Eastern. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.